There's me right there, and then there's Jeff behind me, and then there's a roach in my bathtub. Bro, dude, Wrath of the Lich King was lit. December 10th, 2008. I like the shirt a lot, and I wear it a lot. What can I say? I finally convinced Cora to server transfer over, and I brought her over with me. You guys don't remember her? Really? And today, I will begin the Wrath of the Lich King screenshot stream. On that day, on that night, in 2008, the night that Wrath of the Lich King was released, I had $4 in my name, and I spent 2 of it on a drink. Guys, I had just finished the Burning Crusade. I want to get everybody caught up. At that time, I had joined the best guild on the server. That guild I had wanted to be a part of since before I even hit level 60 in vanilla WoW. I worked my way up through the ranks all throughout Burning Crusade, and I finally landed myself a slot in that guild at the end of the expansion. The guild lost the server first kill. Alliance first, actually, I believe. Server Alliance first kill of Brutalis. We came back that night and we killed it. And I was in that raid. It was the first raid I was ever in for the guild. At that time, I became part of the actual core membership of the guild. And I knew that at that point, I was going to be part of the raid and part of the guild fully in Wrath of the Lich King. And I fully intended to make that happen. I had joined the best guild, and I was ready, excited, and prepared. I had graduated high school. I was taking 1 class at community college. The stage was set for greatness. The stage was set for degeneracy. I was living with my mother. I had no girlfriend, no job. I was hardly going to school, and my life had never been better. I was so happy. And so a young Asmongold, on that night at 2 in the morning, I went forward and I took the ship over to Borean Tundra. And you know what? I wasn't alone. Many other people were around with me, and we were all sitting there waiting, ready, excited, and happy for our first chance to go over to Northrend. And I want you to understand something. Many of you guys might not really appreciate this. You might not understand this. But back then, every single player at that time had almost played Warcraft 3. The fact that the Lich King was coming out was monumental. It was massive. It was the one thing that everybody was waiting for. My friend Zach called me on the phone. I was vacationing. I was over at visiting family out of state. And he called me and he said, "Did you see it?" And I said, "No." And he showed me the Wrath of the Lich King cinematic. It was what I had been waiting for ever since the end of Warcraft 3. And today was the day that it began. I waited for the boat, and I got on the boat with the rest of my team and the rest of the people on my server, on Thrall's server, on the US. And as you see, one thing that happened, I want to make sure one thing is clear. Driven is overdose. We had to reform the guild because the guild master quit the game, and we were not able to recover the name from the guild master. It's stupid, but there it is. And I went for the first time, standing on the boat, leading the charge over to Borean Tundra. In my full brutal gladiator gear, minus the shoulders. I was Fury Spect. I was ready. I was prepared to mine cobalt. Because back then, I didn't have a bunch of people giving me gold. Back then, I had to earn it on my own. Back then, it was the hard times. But I knew, because I remember back at the beginning of Burning Crusade, how expensive adamantite and corium was, that the first thing that I did every single time is I mined as many nodes as I possibly could. And I also did the quests as well. I went through them. And my character was big dick enough to solo some of the elite quests all by myself. As you guys remember, whenever we left off, I had some of the best gear in the game. And so I took that best gear in the game into Wrath of the Lich King. And I kept it for quite a while. I was leveling up. I was helping the mammoths. I was doing all of the quests. This was the first time I had ever been on a vehicle like this before. It was incredible to even consider this would even be a possibility. And I did everything that I needed to do. I mined the rich cobalt nodes. And back then you had to click them over and over and over. And as you guys could see, as time went on, I was flying around. That was my first time ever flying on a dragon like that as well. So later on, I would have that mount. But right now, I just had a chance to do it on my character. I was flying around. Everybody was just happy. People were so glad. The world was totally new. Everything was different. We had never experienced something like this before. It was completely different than any of the other areas that were in the game. And as time went on, I finally reached level 71. And my mom was downstairs. Cody and Jeff were probably at their house, or they could have been landing out at my house. And it was 5 in the morning. 6 in the morning, as you guys can see. And I was playing the game. I had to go to class in a few hours, and I said, fuck it. I'm not even going to sleep. I'm just going to play the game until I have to go. I started doing it. Everybody was playing. Yep, 5:57 in the morning. That's right. And it didn't matter to me, because I was ready to play, and I was ready to do what I needed to do. I kept leveling, and I kept playing with my guild as well. And it took a little bit of time. I do want to say, obviously, my Wrath of the Lich King story, it was a lot of it at the very beginning. It took a lot of time for me to get leveled up. I was a little bit slow with it, but eventually I did get up to level 80. You went to class? Yeah, I did go to class. It was the final. I had to go to class because it was the final. And at the very beginning, I was leveling all by myself. My guild was all doing their own things, and we had one person, we had one player who was going to take their shot at getting the realm first level 80. And I remember that person was Inu. That person was the same guy, the same hunter that won the Nerubian Slave Maker at the end of the Burning Crusade screenshot stream. It was that guy that got the server first level 70. He got level 70 so fast in Burning Crusade, I never told him this, but I actually filed a ticket on him because I thought that he was cheating. I was like, there's no way he can get 70 like that. I'm only 61. Like, there's no way. I literally reported my own guildmate. Like, he wasn't my guildmate at the time, but I reported the guy. I thought he was genuinely fucking cheating because nobody else was even like 67. This dude blew everybody out of the fucking water. And so Inu was going again for server first. And this time, there were actual achievements that you were able to get for getting server first. So I kept leveling. I got my little Murloc costume as well. I was happy about that. It was fun. And I also did the dungeons as well. I enjoyed a lot of the dungeons that Wrath of the Lich King had to offer. The Nexus was great. A lot of the other ones were great. And I want to go ahead and zoom in on some of the names that you guys are going to see here because you're going to have to keep track of these people. Spoiled was a Warlock. He was a very good player. I didn't really know him very well. Atheist was a prop paladin. He was the one that tanked, I believe, my bear run. And he played with me every single day. ST Pally still raids with me to this day in Classic World of Warcraft. And Sadrin... Sadrin was he's a good guy. He was a good guy. But there was one other one. Rufian. Rufian is not in this picture. But Rufian, he and I had a little bit of a... We didn't see eye to eye. What happened? No, everybody here is alive as far as I know. Rufian was a piece of shit. And I remember back in Burning Crusade, at the end of Burning Crusade, Rufian told me, he said, I'm not going to let you roll on Dragonspine Trophy because you're not a real raider. I remembered that. And I never forget. We'll get back to that. I kept leveling. I got up to 60, 72. I was doing my own thing. I was doing what I needed to do. And I figured I'd add this screenshot in just so you could see. That was what my / played time was all the way back then whenever Wrath of the Lich King came out. Only 169 days. At this point, my mom had a higher slash played than I did. It was a good time. I enjoyed myself. My mom had she probably had like 250 days slash played at that point. I'm not even kidding. I don't even know how it was possible. She was leveling. And then also we have more people in here. This is some more guys. Nax Ramos. This was a mage in our guild. The rest of the people were just random idiots that we were playing with. And everybody was cheering on Inu. Inu was going as far as he possibly could to get to level 80 as a server first. I want to see him do it. People were staying up because we were excited to see him hit the server. Or, sorry, hit the server first. That was the way the game used to be. And there we are right there, looking at Anubarak for the first time. A lot of the people there in Illusion, that was the guild that was our rival. Die in a Fire was a terrible guild. I once called Die in a Fire the brown standard of guilds on the server forums because I told people that if Die in a Fire could kill a boss, the boss was easy. And then it was me and Nax Ramos in our guild as well. I was an asshole. And I also wanted to show this screenshot as well. To show you guys that Blizzard not having things being finished is nothing new. This is not a change of pace for Blizzard. This is just business as usual. Keep it in mind. This is what it always was. And there it was. On that night, I logged off. I believe it could have been the day after. I don't really quite remember. And there I was. Asmongold, level 73 warrior in my full Brutal Gladiator gear with all the settings turned all the way down to low because I was still playing on my mother's HP computer that she bought for me in 2004. Those are my old original characters. El Banco, Crack Monkey, Zack the Paladin, Sneaky McStab, Zack Rar, and Ol Cock and Balls. We'll get back to Ol Cock and Balls later on in the story. I saw this different quest. It was the first time that it showed my character. It was future me. And I thought to myself, that is going to be future me. I'm going to have that hair in real life. It's going to be great. I was excited for it. That was a long time ago. I had almost 10,000 gold as well. And there's Rixa. Rixa was the best rogue in our guild. He was fully Sunwell geared. He had both of the Warglaives of Azeroth. He was the first player in our guild to receive them. Rixa had a big dick. He was one of the best players in the guild. And across every single tier that we rated, Rixa was the top performing rogue no matter what. He was the rogue. Yes, he had DST. He had everything that he needed to have. Clearly photoshopped? Clearly not. This is just a typical dungeon with me playing. I want to go ahead and zoom in on the damage meter here and talk about that for a minute. So basically what you can see here is me doing top damage. And I want to see, this is very common. Very common. Yeah, I'll be number one or close to number one. I was a god, and everybody knew it. And everybody was happy about it, and that's why they were playing with me. And I just hit level 74 as well. I was playing with Sagerin and all the boys, man. That shaman I played with all the time as well. At level 74 or 75 or somewhere around there. Inu was on the home stretch. The last final part of his level 80 server first grind. And he asked for people to come and help him with the Amphitheater of Anguish, even if we couldn't do the quest, because it was really good experience and he wanted to be able to do it so he could go for his chance to get server first. I took my time out of my leveling. Everybody. Rixa took his time out of his leveling. Drainy took his time out of his leveling. He was one of the officers of the guild at that time. And we came and made our way to help Inu and help him go for server first. He was 79 already on the second day. I leveled over in Grizzly Hills as well. I finally hit 75. He was 79 already. And I don't have the screenshot, but I'm sure some people were wondering. There was a mage, an undead mage. I think his name was Geist or something like that. It's been a long time. And with the combined help of 3 other people helping him mob tag and spam healing him while he was AoE grinding, just narrowly beat Inu to level 80, realm first. They stole it from Inu. But they could only do that when there was 3 of them against just 1 of him. He actually got boosted. Ascent was an incredible guild full of amazing players. But NU should have gotten the server first. I played this other quest as well. I thought the quests were just fucking amazing. At this point, I had never played a game like this. The experience was totally new. It was incredible. And I enjoyed it a lot. It was amazing. I screenshotted every level that I got, pretty much. And here's 77 as well. And I was making my way up. And at 77, I was able to get my cold weather flying. I had already obtained a lot of gold. I had 13,000 gold going into Wrath of the Lich King. And I got my cold weather flying. And for the first time, I flew in Northrend. I flew around the world. I looked at it from a different perspective. And I saw Icecrown for the first time. The elite fucking level 83 dragons that were flying around. And I'll be honest, I was scared. But that wasn't going to stop me from my goal. And what was that goal? That goal was titanium. And while many other people sat around and they tried to farm all the other little bits of bullshit and level up fast, I said to them, fuck you. I'm going to make some goddamn money. And I stopped leveling for a whole day. And all I did was farm out titanium ore to get as much possible amount of it, because I had looked up on MMO Champion back then, and I knew that I needed titanium to make the epic gear at level 80. And I was the only one out there in Icecrown on that second day of the game. And I got a lot. I got a lot of titanium, boys. And as time went on, I went in there with my boys. Your Envy. He was our guild master at the time. Analog was an incredible shaman healer. I've still talked to her every once in a while. Namani, I'm still friends with as well. She was another healer. And Rixa as well in the background. We went into Utgard Pinnacle, I believe that's the dungeon that we're at then. And we farmed all of them. And with our very good gear, it was quite easy. We were already better at the game. And as you can see here, we ran this game. We were the pimps of the server. As you guys can see, everybody's got on their big dick mounts, and they were ready to go into Calling of Strathlome as well. We did what we needed to do, and I did what I needed to do, and I tanked the dungeons. I always viewed myself as a warrior, not an arms warrior, not a fury warrior, not a prot warrior, but a warrior. I did the job that needed to be done, whatever it was. And to be honest, playing a prot warrior back in Wrath of the Lich King was pretty fucking fun. As time went on, where is it here? I've got to go ahead and find it. There's a lot of these different things. Oh, I made this picture too. I made this picture reminding people that you're in the best guild on the server, just elitist things. So I used to make a lot of memes back in the day. It was one thing. I was a real big memer. I loved memeing. And so I did this all the time. I really enjoyed it, and this was pretty much what I used to do. I want to go ahead and give you an idea of the kind of person that I was at this time. Here's a picture of a young Asmongold. As you can see. As you can see right here, I was ready for action. I was dangerous. Yeah. That was me back in the day. Back in the day, I did have hair. I've got a few other pictures as well. Let me see. I got this one too. This was whenever my dad got me an axe. That's a young Asmongold. Right at the very beginning of Wrath of the Lich King. I had no idea what the world would have in store for me. I was just a stupid ass fucking kid. Yeah. I was just a stupid ass fucking kid. And you know what? Back then I did actually have hair. I know, it might sound surprising, but there it is. I want to say right here, all that titanium that I had farmed out, I turned into Titan Steel bars, and I was able to make some of the best gear on the entire server on the first week of the expansion release. I had everything ready, everything prepared, and I was already getting perped out on week 1. I was the best geared tank in the guild. And you know what? That's why they invited me to Heroics. As you can see there's ST Pally, all of the other legends of the guild. And we went there, and we completed all of the dungeons. and we did everything that we needed to do together, and we got everything and all of our badges of heroism, and we prepared to go into Naxxramas for me, for the first time as progression, and for some of the people in that guild, they did it back at level 60, and so they're going back to Naxxramas. We went through, and we crafted all of the gear that we needed. We got our Titan Steel armor, and I prepared myself. And sometimes, we just barely survived. But we did. Dakina right there. That's CatDany. This was us almost 15 years ago, completing our quests in heroic stone halls. That long ago. And then just a little bit later, after we got just a little bit better gear, we stepped foot into Naxxramas for the first time, and we completed the Arachnid Quarter, and we killed more and more bosses. I don't have screenshots of every single boss kill. Yes, the patchwork kill was a little bit sloppy, but that's what happens whenever you try to do level 80 Nax and level 70 Black Temple gear. It was rough, it really was. But we did what we needed to do. As you guys can see, I still had Berserker's Call from ZA from back in the day. Always dead? Wait, is that... Oh, yeah. The reason why I was dead is because I pulled aggro, and the reason why I pulled aggro is because I'm a god at damage. Like, that's not even my fault, man. That's just me doing me. There's me right there. The big cock king. I looked so fucking good. I looked like a legend. I looked like a fucking wizard. I was so happy with myself. I had my armor. I was taking screenshots of my character left and fucking right. I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, God damn, I look good. I've got the fucking DPS gear from Nax 10 Men. I've got the axe right there from Halls of Lightning Heroic. That's the Colossal Skullclad Cleaver. It was one of my favorite axe models in the game, even to this day, with my tabard of the Wormrest Accord, doing Violet Hold, AFKing through it, while other people do the work for me, so I can come back at the end and hit the boss and collect the loot. I did what I needed to do, and that's all I did. And you know what? As time went on, we went through Nax, and we kept progressing through it. Echo right there, if you guys remember Echo, I had a legendary 45-minute arena game against Echo and his druid, with me and my druid. His name was Blackleaf, and his druid's name was Winry. I'll talk about Blackleaf later on. Blackleaf is actually very instrumental in the way that things went for me. Very instrumental. Echo won the 45-minute arena game. But we had mutual respect for each other, and we tanked Naxxramas together as two warriors, going in there and doing what we both needed to do for our guild. God damn, I look good. God. Man, I look so good, man. Fuck, man, I look so good, dude. Oh my god. I looked like a legend. And then I've got Namani there as well. Namani, her and I, we hung out all the time. She was a very good friend of mine. I still keep in contact with her to this day. And as you guys can see, she did Naxxramas with us as well. She was a great healer. She was one of our best healers, actually. And we didn't just do Naxxramas. We also did Sartharian. And you know what? In this screenshot, my character's not dead. And we have some of the other legends. Kryptonites right there. The guy who got ATS, who put together the whole raid. ST Pally. And at this point, I forgot to tell you a little bit of a complication. Talib. The leader and the glue that held the guild together. He was the heart and soul of the guild. And it was a soul of toxicity, pure evil, and absolute excellence. He was the most toxic and greatest raid leader I've ever had. I modeled my own raid leading off of him. At the end of Burning Crusade, he quit our guild. After playing with the guild, even through EverQuest, they went from EverQuest and they came into World of Warcraft, and he left the guild for greener pastures because he just wasn't enjoying it anymore. We had lost our leader. I was trying to pick up the pieces, and so were the other people in the guild. Like your Envy, he was the guild master. But we had lost the one person who really held us to the highest standard than we had ever been at. We were doing our best, but without Talib, something was missing. It was not good. But we pursued. We carried on. We did Naxxramas as well. We completed the 4 Horsemen. That's me again. God damn, I look good. Holy damn, God damn, I look so good. I looked amazing. It was crazy. Taliban, he actually had an alt character named Taliban. It was basically, he had 2 B's. He just put AN at the end. It took him years to get that reported. He actually did have a character called. It was his shaman, I believe. So many memories? Yeah. So many. I remember as much as I can. And there we are, for the first time at the very beginning, doing Naxxramas 10-man and finishing the rest of the content and the last 2 bosses. This was the first time I had done this, and we had done Saffron at level 80. It was pretty fucking hard to do. And I also got all of the reputation that I needed as well. Of course I did that. Look, Saffron was pretty hard. We weren't entirely geared. As you guys can see here, we've still got a lot of people there. Look at Spoiled. Look at Namani. These are still people in tier 6. We were attempting this content at the very, very beginning. We were on the bleeding edge as early as that we possibly could. We were going into this raid. And you know what? We had to take a step back, and we had to get a little bit more reputation. We had to do a little bit more stuff. And also, I had to get something that was important for me. I went into Strathwell, and on my first kill at level 80, the first kill, I obtained the Death Charger's Reigns. I couldn't believe it. I was genuinely in shock. This was the mount that I had wanted for my entire history playing World of Warcraft. This was the one mount that I had wanted above everything else. And I had just gotten it. I was so happy. You guys had no idea. And you know what? I rode it around. Just a minute. Let me go back over here. I rode it around. I told my mom. First run. And you know what she said? Grats. She was happy for me. And I was happy for me too. I took multiple screenshots of my character on this mount. And I want you guys to understand, you're going to see a number of screenshots of my character on this mount. But this is only just a small fraction of the amount of actual screenshots I have of my character riding this mount. I love this mount so much. I was so happy about it. It was the most incredible, amazing thing that I had ever had. I was so happy. But obviously, there were other things that I needed to do. That was my character's armor right there. I guess these guys were fighting, talking shit at each other. I don't really know. Guild chat was always a little bit toxic. That was my character from back in the day. Critical strike chance, 34%. I was dangerous. And my UI, as you guys can see right there, never changed. It's always been the same. No changes, baby. We went back into Naxxramas. And we defeated Saffron. We beat his dick off. We defeated him. For anybody who might have played Wrath of the Lich King, many of you guys might not remember. But whenever you killed Saffron, he dropped a special item that allowed you to access the Malagos lair, the Eye of Eternity. And we took our raid over that day, that very fateful night, and we went up against Malagos. And you know what? We didn't kill him. He was hard. We couldn't figure out the vehicle phase. Nobody had any fucking idea how it worked. We had literally no clue. We only had a few pulls. I remember it was like very, very late at night. People had to go to bed. And I began my quest over here. And this quest right here was for the Scepter of the Shifting Sands. At this point, I wanted to complete the entire Scepter of the Shifting Sands questline. And the reason that I wanted to do that is because I thought to myself that what if there's a bug that accidentally closes the opening of the gates of the AQ gates again, and I can use my scepter and open it again and get my Scarab Lord mount. I thought this could happen. I even thought about transferring to a server that didn't have the gates open just so I could do it myself. And you know what? That didn't happen. But I did do the quest. We did the Culling of Time with some of the best people in the guild. We got the Bronze Drake. I know this might sound surprising to you guys, but many years ago, the Bronze Drake was actually quite prestigious. It was quite special. It was quite important. But there was one thing left that we had to do. And that thing left was to kill Malygos. I went in that night. I was the raid leader of this raid. This was a very big deal for me. Because this was the first time that I not only was part of a first kill, but I led the raid to that kill happening. This was a huge, big fucking deal for me. And us getting this this title, the Champion of the Frozen Wastes, was huge. Like, my ego, at this point right now, my ego was building to a level that few people don't even know that this exists. I remember whenever we completed this, you know what the first thing that I did was? I went back to Ironforge, and I accidentally linked it into general chat and trade chat. I said, oops, I didn't mean to link that. Everyone was like, yeah, right, you didn't. Did you actually get it? I'm like, yeah, I did. I got it. I've got the title. We were the first people on the server that completed Malygos. We were the first fucking people. Everybody was looking at my title. I was like, yeah, dude, I fucking did it. I was happy. I was at the top of my game. And I took my raid leading skills, and we went around the world, and we took it to the Horde. And we went, and we did for the Alliance. As you guys can see right there, we were probably getting ready to go over to Orgrimmar, or maybe Thunderbluff. I looked so good, dude. Like, I was a pimp, man. I was a fucking pimp. No, Magic Seeker, it's 10-man. Malygos 25-man was Magic Seeker. You only got the titles for 25-man. And there's a Horde guild that beat us to 25-man, so it didn't happen. Yeah, Ascent was on our server. Like, Ascent was like an incredible guild. Like, a lot of times that we would Ascent was like a tier above us. Like, honestly, like, they raided all the time, and they were really good. So, regardless, though, I was very happy about us getting it. And we were the first people on Alliance to get it. Nobody else had this. I felt really good about it. And there's me. We were riding around. Obviously, everybody waiting behind me. And I was leading the charge, doing what I needed to do as a leader. We also did Orgrimmar as well. And as time went on, we got the Black Warbear. I was very happy about this. It was another successful raid that I had done on my own. It was beautiful. And my ego was becoming a bit of a problem. We invited a random guy to do Karazhan with us because we were trying to do... I want you to understand the relationship between me and Kryptonites. We had a relationship that was built around our mutual obsession of mounts and items in the game. Kryptonites, he and I, agreed together that we would raid and we would do these dungeons with each other for the entire fucking time. And I would do it with him on my alt, he would do it with me on his alt to help each other get the mounts. So Kryptonites were doing this together, and we had this one random guy who didn't even have Wrath of the Lich King because he wanted to fully finish Burning Crusade first. We didn't really know what to say to him. We had no idea what to say. But I screenshotted it because it was so fucking stupid. Yeah, dude. There were some real goofballs back then. I know some people might not believe it, but back in the day, this was a totally different fucking world, man. We helped each other, we sure did. And then also my mom got flying as well, and she took a little picture of her character as well. That's her flying around in Northrend for the first time. There she is. And this right here, I want to go ahead and show this person. This guy's name is Jimbos. Jimbos is a hunter. And Jeffrey begged Jimbos for gold every single day throughout all of Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King. And the worst part about it, Jimbos gave it to him. Jimbos paid for Jeffrey's full, entire epic flying back in Burning Crusade. And he didn't know Jeff, But Jeff would just randomly beg people for gold, and Jimbo's was one of those guys. And I saw him whenever my mom was playing, and I made her screenshot it so I would never forget it. I also did all the other mounts as well. I got the white polar bear, of course. I collected all of the mounts that I needed to get. And my guild was building up momentum, building up power, and building up steam. We had many people in here, and we were doing 10-man Nax Ramas. This was still at the very beginning of Wrath of the Lich King. We were working our way up, and as you guys can see, we were almost in full epics. The Big Dick Battlemaster was beginning to rise. The moment was at hand. I was ready, and I was prepared to go into 25-man Nax Ramas. But I also went into Arena. And you know what happened in Arena? I rolled a Death Knight. Because I lost. Faustus was born. I created my Death Knight after queuing a couple of arenas. And I leveled him up all the way to 71 before I just randomly quit playing him. I forgot why. Faustus going into Stormwind for the first time. And I want to show again one more thing. That's me and Kryptonites again together, farming Magister's Terrace 2-man, because we promised each other that we would help each other get the Swift White Hawk Strider together. And it didn't matter which one of us got it first, the other one would come back every day at the end of raid, and we would do it together until both of us had the mount. I got my Argent Crusade reputation finished. I got my title as well. I felt good about myself. And I was so good at the game that I was giving suggestions to Blizzard. I said, should make it to where you can't talk in trade chat for the starter accounts. Because people kept making starter accounts that were free, and they were spamming in trade chat. The Blizzard GM said, that's a very good point, and he put a happy face. And then I put the little cat face as well. He says, that suggestion has actually gone to the developer section. We will see if they implement it. I hope so. And you know what? They did. They did implement it. I would get messages from people all the time. They would say, dude, yes, you pwn, man. I said, haha, thanks, dude. At this point, I was getting used to that. I would just get messages from random people who just saw my gear. And they knew how good I was. They saw my titles. And they recognized a champion. And you know what? They paid their due respects. I took a screenshot right there of the original Death Knight talent tree. Because I need you guys to understand. Death Knights at the very beginning of Wrath of the Lich King were some of the most broken and overpowered and fun things to play in the entire history of the game. It was absolutely fucking amazing. I leveled up. I did what I needed to do. And I was playing with the boys. Kryptonite still playing with him as well. Just hanging out in the party, talking, chilling. Just dudes being guys. Guys being dudes. And I finally entered after I got enough gear. I entered with my 25-man raid. And for the first time, we did ICC. Or not ICC. Nax Ramas on 25-man. I saw Mr. Bigglesworth. I got him. I got his ass. There are no survivors. There are no sympathizers of the Scourge allowed in my Nax Ramas. I destroyed that little stupid fucking cat. And I went there with the rest of my raid. That we now were building up our gear. We were doing what we needed to do. And we were getting prepared to do all of the hard modes and complete the achievements for the final raid tier. We did the 20-man Nax Ramas as well, with all of the legends. Dizzy right there. That was the Priest Bozy. Dizzy, I want to say something. Dizzy and Paladini. Dizzy played a DK, Paladini played a Paladin. Takina played a Paladin. They almost got Gladiator. They got the title. There was a title called the Flawless Victor back in Wrath of the Lich King. And you were able to get it if you were able to win 10 games in a row above 2K rating. They got that achievement. I fucking hated them for it. I was so jealous. I was furious because I knew that it was just because they were fucking playing the right comp, and I was playing a warrior. I was so mad every single time I would see them with that title, and then whenever Blizzard took it out of the game later on, I was like, fuck you. That's what you get. That's what you fucking get. But you know what? Whenever it came to the raids, we got together and we got used to each other. Namani and Kryptonites did not get along very well, however. Kryptonites had just gotten out of the Marines, and Namani was a 16-year-old girl. For whatever reason, they completely counteracted each other. They hated each other. And they would get in like 2-hour arguments over nothing. Because he would tell her how to heal, and she would tell him how to DPS. And it just went on and on and on. Until one day, Rixa said, Kryp, you know whenever you argue with a 16-year-old girl, you sound like a 16-year-old girl. That was the last argument that Kryptonites ever had with Namani. Everybody was quiet. That was the end of it. Those were the fucking days, boys. Those were the fucking days. Sean Kelly. This dude actually messaged me a while ago. I think he lives in Austin. And he was in the guild. And I don't remember what it was. If I remember right what this was, I don't know if this was him. But we were about to pull Patchwork. And Sean Kelly was listening to Du Hast. And he started saying the lyrics of Du Hast, and he just randomly ran into the boss and aggroed it and wiped the entire raid and killed everyone. Just out of nowhere. And he was typing the lyrics in chat as he was running at the boss. It's the stupidest fucking thing ever. I still remember it though. It was hilarious. Yeah, and so yeah, Sean Kelly was there. We got all the boys. Obviously, many people here have their gear. You can see there's only a few pieces of 70 gear yet. This is a couple of weeks into Burning Crusade. Or Wrath of the Lich King. I'm going to say that probably a number of times wrong. Asmongold, champion of the Frozen Wastes. In the guild driven. In my full epic prot gear. I had the biggest dick on the server. And I wasn't afraid to remind people that that was the case. My ego was on the moon. But you know what? It could still go higher. And I'll tell you something. It did. I was getting geared. I was getting prepared. And so was Jeff. Jeff had made his paladin. He was leveling it up on the horde. He played a blood elf paladin named McLovin. His warrior, what happened with his warrior is very simple. After ninja looting Gruul's Lair every single week and trying to wipe all of the Alliance raids over and over, Jeff had ruined his name on his Horde Warrior. And even after multiple name changes, no one would still play with him. So Jeff had to completely remake a new character. Because nobody wanted to play with fucking Jeff. We did the Bronze Drake as well. And after a few wins, after a few rolls, your boy Asmongold came out ahead. And I got my Bronze Drake. And back then, it was a sign of pride, a sign of skill, and a sign of achievement. Although today, it's much easier. We went back and we did Molten Core. And I want to tell you all of a dream that I had. There was once a dream that I woke up and I remembered. It was looking up at my warrior, dual wielding Sulfuras and Thunder Fury. The day after that, I went into Molten Core. And I took my chances at getting this binding. This binding, unfortunately, would not be mine. I gave this to my friend Kryptonite's alt. That was a paladin. I gave it to him because he wanted it, and that's what we had agreed on. And he was doing it for me. So I did actually give this one away. But I never forgot that dream, and I never stopped farming the expansion. Kryptonite's already had the other half of the Windseeker, and I thought that it was only fair for me to give it to him on his alt because that's what he wanted. And at the end of the day, he was a lot closer to getting it than I was. So I master looted it away. Because as I said before, I'm a piece of shit. but I'll never betray my friends. And I gave it to him. And then he and I came together. And we continued doing our runs on Magister's Terrace. And time went on. And eventually, the mount dropped. I won the role on the mount. And I received the Swift White Hawkstrider. I was the first one of the two of us that had gotten the mount. It was an incredible accomplishment. I was very happy. And I had finally gotten one of the first epic rare mounts that I had been farming. At this point, the only reason that I didn't re-roll a Death Knight for Wrath of the Lich King is only for the sole purpose that I didn't want to lose my mounts on my main character, because at that time they were not account-wide. If it wasn't for that, it would have been Asmongold the Death Knight. Also on top of that, I wanted to just go ahead and show you guys. We had done a 4 horseman raid, and I probably picked up, or I did something really good. Everybody's messaging me. Nice pickup, bro. Nice work, man. Thanks. Listen, I was at the top of my game. I was at my prime. Everybody appreciated me. I was a great player. And you know what? Everybody appreciated me. I'm going to go back over to the next one here. Asmongold, Champion of the Frozen Wastes. Dr. Goodheels. Ugly in the morning. He and I raided together, and we played together ever since Burning Crusade. And you know what? From back in the day, back all the way in Burning Crusade, we went and we played in Wrath of the Lich King as well. He lived in Fiji, I lived in Texas, and we became friends through World of Warcraft. And it was one of the best things and the greatest things that the game ever had to offer. It was special. 59 FPS. It was the most that I had ever had in my entire life. It was incredible. Yeah. And I still keep up with them every once in a while as well. Obviously, right here, I sent this picture. Count me in, motherfucking cloak-stealing bitch. I was the one who got the cloak from Kel'Thuzad the first time. I got it. I got the cloak. It was the best in slot cloak. Neo did not. He and I were good friends. A bit of a sad part of this story. That's why I added this in. One time when I was doing Strand of the Ancients, one of Neo's closer friends came in and, I don't remember why, but, what happened, but informed us that, Neo had died. It's fucking sad. It was the first time that we had ever had somebody in our guild that had that happen. I still remember it. It sucked. It fucking sucked, man. I'll say that. Rest in peace? Yeah. I went around and I soloed the different bosses and the different things out in the world. I loved being able to solo, and I loved being able to do things and play together with other people. And that was nice. But one thing that I really did enjoy was the idea of being able to go around and fight off and take on some of the hardest and most powerful elites in the game just by myself. I loved being able to do that. I had multiple videos and multiple things like that I had put together because I had wanted people to see how good I was at soloing. I went and I soloed Lord Lake Mirian. I went and I did everything that I possibly could. And you know what? Many years ago, I did the safety dance as well. And our guild was on the way, making progress to completing the meta, Glory of the Raider. It was our main and primary goal. One of these days, we were going to make it. I didn't know if that was ever going to happen. But there's me right there playing with Namani again. She would always heal bot me in Battlegrounds. And obviously, there were some people in Battlegrounds, I want you guys to understand, there were a bunch of bad players. A bunch of really, really bad players back in the day. Some real clowns. You're doing it wrong. Yes, they were. I also raided and I did arena with Takina as well. My character was getting a little bit more of the PvP gear. And I was getting some of the 25-man gear too. I did Justicar as well. I got that. I farmed that out. This is whenever I was playing the game, probably 15 hours a day. And I never regretted it. I even soloed the Alterac Yeti in a fucking AV. Very happy about being able to do that. And we created the Danger Zone. This is my 5v5 team that I made with my friends. And we went into the arena, and we big dicked it. We only did get 1,500, but I was playing with my friends, and that's what counted. And speaking of my friends, I was the kind of person who never went back on a promise. And even after I got my side, I came back, and I helped Crypt get his. We fulfilled our bargain. And he and I together got our Swift White Hawkstriders. Yeah. You think your boy Asmongold was just going to step out? You think he was just going to disappear and get out of there? Yes, he got Atiesh. That was part of the last story. Yes, he did. And there it is. And this is some random other idiot that we just told to get the fuck out of our picture. We took a bunch of pictures with each other. We were so happy. And it was amazing, man. Like, we took so many of these. It was so cool to have done something like this and have it work out. I think that was the best part. We did, obviously, all of the different holiday events as well. They were really fun. And I got all of that kind of stuff done because if you completed all of them, you were able to get a mount. And I was one of the highest geared or highest amount of mounts on my server. And I intended to keep it that way. And I did. Look, dude. I am what I am. Yeah, I gave some little cringy little emojis. It is what it is, bruh. It is what it is. I also went in and I began my Scepter of the Shifting Sands questline. And pretty much all by myself. I had a few people helping me. But I went and I did it by myself. And as you guys can see, there's my gear. I have the 25-man Naxxramas gear at that point. I had the cloak, obviously, from Kel'Thuzad. And then I went through all of that. And then the fateful day occurred. The fateful time. That I was there and I was ready to receive the Warglaive of Azzinoth. Now, Bullshift. What one thing you have to understand about Bullshift is that he was just as much of a dickhead as I was. And yeah, we had to roll it off a few times. We did. But after that time went over, I ended up, and I got the Warglaive. He looted it directly to me. And I got my first legendary. This Warglaive was my first legendary that I had received. So you scanned him? Yeah, we ninja looted it. Fuck him. 100%. That was my first legendary right there. I was so happy. I would run around all the time with this on. I was so fucking hyped up about it. It was absolutely amazing. And I went and I did, obviously, the Sunken Temple thing. And there were a lot of clowns as well. I was making a group. This guy said, "What do you need?" I said, "Giraffes." He said, "Question mark." I said, "For your group." I said, "I already told you." He says, "Fuck you, you little prick." And he says, "What?" And that's what it was. Yeah, he wasn't having it. He was not happy about my antics, about my behavior, about how I acted. He doesn't want any fucking giraffes. Nobody wants any fucking giraffes. He left. Put me on ignore. And I went to myself. And I had to do it all by myself. I had my Warglaive on. And I was completing all of the quest lines as much as I possibly could. And you know what? I went in there and I did it myself because I couldn't make a group. I had to do everything that I needed to do all by myself. I went and I completed the rest of the quest with Neri and Soothfancy. I flew out to the far away land for Land's End Beach, and I used a special potion to fly off to the secret island and loot the item for myself. And let's go ahead and move a little bit back over to here. My guild was getting into 25-man Naxxramas. We were completing Heroic Saffron. We were doing everything that we needed to do to become the top guild on the server. This was still just a couple of weeks into Wrath of the Lich King. You have to understand and keep that in the context. We also went around. I did this too. This guy was actually pretty hard to kill. I did Lord Like Mirian again, and this time it counted. And then also on top of that, I went back over here. I don't know what it is about rep paladins, but every rep paladin refused to fucking heal. And it's like McConnell, S-Fan, ST, he would never respec. So he'd just get a DPS and go. Like, just go. But, like, no, he would not respec. He had to fucking sit there. I'm like, I know, dude. I know. And that's all it fucking was. Real hazed? No, this is a different guy. This guy was hazed because he was high all the time. It was a Nechka. You guys will find out more about him later on. Anechka was a huge stoner, and his best friend in the guild was a police officer. It was great. I also went around, and I was always a completionist to an extent at this point in level 80. And I collected all of my all of my 2.5 gear as well. And I got my armor, and I got my Dark Edge of Insanity, and I had all of that set ready back in Wrath of the Lich King. I was very happy about that as well. And then right there, we got another binding of the Windseeker. I will be honest with you. I don't know if this is the one that I got or if it's not. But I'm pretty sure that it might have been. It was either this one or the next one. And whenever this dropped, I never forgot my dream. My dream of dual-wielding Thunder Fury and Sulfuras. I kept it in mind. And also on top of that, I did all the rest of the Draconic for Dummies quest lines. I did everything like that. And I was playing and I was really enjoying the game. I was having so much fun and I was so happy just doing all of this stuff. And the best part about it is my guild wanted to play with me. Like, we would go and just hang out in Vent and just do dungeons together. It was such a great experience, man. It was an incredible fucking experience. I can't even explain how good it was. I really can't. We did kill Jaden as well. Jaden was a pretty hard boss, I'll tell you that for sure. He was a really, really fucking hard boss. Even at level 80, because we didn't have really that good of gear yet. But you know what? We beat his ass. It was fine. We did what we needed to do. And I got all my little achievements as well. That's whenever I first started doing achievements. I didn't really take it all that seriously. I just did it for titles and for other things like that. I didn't care about the number of achievement points that I had. I only cared about the ones that gave you something. And then a little bit later on, Heavyweight, that's Kryptonite's alt right there, did end up getting Thunder Fury. He and I farmed AQ together, and he finally did complete his Thunder Fury as well, which is the one that I looted him the binding for. But you know what? I still had to go in there and do it myself. And at that time, I taught myself how to solo Gar. And for the next 2 years of my life, I would be sitting up against that wall, fighting that boss. This is what I would do with my time. This is all it was. Going after Gar. I soloed Hakar. Afterwards, after that, I was getting to the point where I had really, really good gear. I honestly loved the way that my character looked at this point. I thought that I looked like a fucking legend. I would screenshot and just look at my character because of how much of a badass I was. I was so cool looking. Look at that. Oh my god, I was so cool. Like, look at that. I've got the fucking PvP helmet on. I'm dual wielding these two badass axes. Oh my god, man. I was the biggest pimp there was. I was so goddamn happy. Did you jerk off on your character? I probably should have. I still have this character right here. All right, there's a screenshot right here. I kept this for a whole long time. I had this saved. This is one of my favorite screenshots of my character. And you know what? I wasn't just collecting really cool armor. I was also collecting mounts. In fact, I collected 50 of them. It wasn't a big accomplishment, not a big accomplishment now, but back then it was. And I got my albino Drake. I got my little Meccano Strider as well. And also I completed a lot of the very, very difficult 5-man achievements that you needed to do. My guild at this point was reaching the point where we really kind of needed to do something impressive or not. And I felt like we weren't really putting a whole lot of effort into it. The guild was being kind of toxic, and we were clowning around a whole lot. I got my little recipe of a delicious chocolate cake, very special. There is somebody who's upset at me. He says one of you did, and you condone the action for not re-inviting me. This was during Wrath of the Lich King. We had a pug, and somebody was unhappy that I kicked them out of the raid or I didn't do something that they had wanted. So obviously he wanted me to die in real life. Now, these kinds of comments never bothered me. I genuinely don't care. But this is the way that people in the rest of the server viewed my guild. So all you have to do to get into Driven is be the piece of shit in the crevices of my shoe. Got it. And so I thought that was funny. And the reason why I thought it was funny is that I knew I was just going to report him. My sincerest apologies for any trouble this player has caused as well, Asmongold. And I said, that kid was like really annoying. All right, thanks. So I just reported him. I thought it was funny because I knew he was going to get fucking removed. I would farm around also for Serenite as well. This is how I made my gold. And also, wait, where is it? There it is. We were just hanging around, having fun, and doing what we wanted to do. I want to go ahead and draw a little bit of attention here. This was the point where our guild turned around. This was the point where everything changed and we became whole again. This was our first raid in 25-man Naxxramas with a certain person. 2 people. I want to draw attention to the name Rob and also a second name, Belthic. Belthic was Talib. He came back. He had completed all of the Wrath of the Lich King content, and he came back to help us to save his guild that he had once been part of. And we had once again gotten our leader back, and the guild was once again what it used to be. I was so happy. Honestly, I was so, like, I hated having the raid lead. I knew that I didn't know it as well as he did. I was so happy whenever he came back, and I knew that nothing could stop us. We were going to do whatever we needed to do, and that's all we needed to do. And I was having fun. Obviously, you guys can see what the fuck. My language has never changed. I've always been the same dude, and I've always done the same things. You solo the boss? It's just funny. I soloed a car. How? I just hide his swordings. You are too beastly. A lot of people thought that I was a very good player back then. I was becoming a bit of a legend on the server. And you know what? I did also. I was able to solo Onyxia. This took me a very, very long time. And I have a video of that as well also on my channel. It took me a very, very long fucking time. It was like an 18 or 20 minute fight. I was super happy about it. It's sick. Yeah, it was fucking badass, man. And I went and I did all this stuff on my own. And there it is. There's me killing Onyxia right there. And right there, for whatever reason, there was an engineering rabbit. And one time, I think Rob let it out. And he didn't tell anybody. And we genuinely thought that the rabbit was a GM in disguise spying on us during our raid. Back then, people didn't understand the game the way they do now. People aren't able to just look things up on fucking Wowhead, and there's like 18 different articles written about brown rabbits. Back then, you had to understand things on a very basic level. And you know what? A lot of people didn't. There's my character right there in my full Naxxramas 25-man gear. With Talib's leadership, the guild was revitalized, and we were farming Naxxramas 25-man like it was a fucking joke. We were killing everything in Naxxramas. And whenever I say everything, I mean everything. Also, as confirmation of the story that I told about the girl Aileen, Bazaron told me Emo sent pictures to Aileen of his dick with her name written on it with magic marker. I love my old guild, man. It was a beautiful guild. And look, dude, it's the way you gotta do what you gotta do, man. You gotta take your shot. You gotta do what you gotta do. That's all there is to it. Nothing wrong about that. 22 or 20 on. Yeah, everybody was online in the guild, dude. People were playing all the time. Like, this was the best. This was the best it was gonna be, man. And you know what? We were farming Naxxramas so hard, we even did alt raids. And you know what we ended up doing in those alt raids? We brought our friends. And some of us even brought our moms. I brought my mom's druid into Naxxramas 25, man. And while her guild was wiping and clowning and fucking around in Naxxramas 10-man. She was killing 25-man bosses in Naxxramas. It was fucking hilarious. I remember watching her character, and whenever we killed Kel'Thuzad and that achievement popped up that she had killed Kel'Thuzad, you know, Kel'Thuzad's downfall or whatever the fuck it was, they were fucking furious. They were actually mad at the fact that she was able to do that. It pissed them off so fucking much. And you know what? That's what they fucking get for being a shit guild. My mom went to the raids every single week, and she turned out to be probably the best geared druid on the server. And you know what? She kept showing up. And it was really fucking funny to think that my mom was one of the best geared druids on the server. It was. We must discuss things. I think that shadow... Wait, I should whisper this. Rob and I would... we would talk to a number of the girls on the server. Rob and I were becoming good friends. We were becoming very good friends. And that friendship would lead us to very interesting places. Let me just say that. I want to go ahead and give you a little window of the way that I used to act back in the day. Is that a chick on her period? Because that's how you're acting. Out my face. That idiot, spurg, asshole, toxic piece of shit. That was me. That was my job. Because I didn't have a job. This was what I fucking did. That's just a window into the mind of Asmongold. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. And so this is a pretty interesting little conversation here. I want to go ahead and show this. I think this might be a little bit out of order. No, it's not out of order. So, I lost the roll on an item. And Infamous Link, who is another ninja on the server, says, Asmon explained fights, etc. He deserves it, in my opinion. And I said, so what if re-roll? I said, so what if we have to re-roll? Like, it doesn't matter if we gotta re-roll. Well, we gotta get the right result, don't we? And all you guys talk about Rob ninjing. And so, like, at this point, I want to just look at this screenshot. This screenshot confirms literally 3 of us are all ninja looting all at the same fucking time. Okay? We were clowns. This is all we would fucking do. And then, boom, I got the item. You didn't say that at the beginning of the raid. Okay, bye, guys. Yep, see ya. I'm done. And I got the item. It is what it is. And also, speaking of getting items, I also got the Reigns of the Twilight Drake. And I remember whenever I won the roll on this, I think it was like Rixa or somebody, everybody let out a collective sigh whenever they saw that I won the roll. Because I was an idiot. Everybody knows it. I was an idiot. They said, isn't there anybody else that can roll on it? Is there anybody else that can roll on it so we don't have to give it to Asmon? Please, is there anybody? And I was like, no, there's not, bitch. Give it to me. And you know what? They did. Now, I also wasn't complete trash either. I was number 3 on the DPS meter. Keep that in mind. Keep that in fucking mind, boys. And there I am on my Twilight Drake. And with Talib's leadership, we were able to do 3 Drakes Arthurian. As you guys can see, I had moused over him. He was Obsidian Slayer. He had already completed a lot of this content before, and he knew everything that we needed to do in order to finish the rest of this. Time went on. I had to make my ult. I had to make a guild bank, and I did that as well. The height of my fiending career was beginning to occur. This guild name was reported. I had to make a new guild name. I renamed that guild name to something else that was even more offensive. Blizzard changed that guild name, and they sent me an email, and they said, we will give you a list. It said they want me to send them a list of what they want to change my guild name to. And the only 2 or 3 things I put on the list, one of them was Asmongold Fan Club. And Blizzard would not change the fucking guild name to Asmongold Fan Club. And so instead, they just simply did not change my guild name. That's why, even to this day, El Banco's guild exists. Because I never got a chance to change it. They would never let me change it. Because they were so pissed off because they had to deal with me all the time. There were also some real dipshits. I used to do this all the time. I would literally just screenshot people that had bad armor or stupid shit on. This guy had block value gear on, and he was a DK. There's no reason that you need that as a DK. Also, as well, I was getting this one too. Check it. I got my Draconic for Dummies, and I finally finished all 8 of the chapters as well. I went and I fought a Cranius with this one girl that was in the guild, and I had her heal me while I defeated the boss pretty much all by myself. It took me a while, but I did what I needed to do, and I got my Gnomish Turban of Psychic Might, which I still have in my inventory in my bank to this day. I never got rid of it. I got my Admiral thing as well, with again Rob. And also on top of that, I got my Diplomat thing too. I was farming out all of the titles. I was farming out everything that I needed to do. And unfortunately, Blizzard did give me a glimpse of the future. Of what life has to hold in store for me. I took a screenshot of this back whenever it happened because I thought it was a funny joke. It was just a good old funny joke. And it was a different texturing bug. And then later on, it turned into not being a bug. I want to tell you how Rob and I became friends. Rob, before Rob was e-dating Aileen, I was e-dating Aileen. And we talked about it a lot. And the bond between the two of us became much stronger. And apparently we found out that everybody was e-dating Aileen. And she was still around at this point. She was still around. But it was really fucking funny. Yeah. And so Rob and I, we became really good friends through this. We're like, yeah, dude, she's crazy, right? I'm like, yeah, dude, she's fucking nuts. And so we started talking to each other, and we became really, really good friends, man. We really did. And then also, I wanted to go ahead and show you some of the loot rules of some of my, I don't know if these are people in my guild, but these are some of the loot rules from back in Wrath of the Lich King. They want you to have an orgasm on Vent, or whatever. Who has the best orgasm gets the loot from the raids. That was the way that we were doing loot rules for our raids, our pug raids. We would get everybody in Vent, and that's how we would handle things. Yeah, it was fair. It's like, listen, like the degeneracy. I want you guys to understand this. We're just getting started, okay? We are just getting started. On top of that, also, we were fucking with people in CG. We were just clowning around. I want to see if they get mad. We were just clowns. That's all we were. It was fun. It was great. And Talib also came back to the guild, and everything was looking really, really good. I was happy, I was confident, and we were ready to move on and move forward. But there was one other thing that I still did need to... I forgot that I added this. So, I want you to know, this has been an ongoing behavioral pattern for a very long time. This is not something that I put on for stream. This is not something that, oh, well, he just plays it up for stream. No, it is not. So anyway, somebody said I'm like the Swifty of Thrall. I said, oh, what? I didn't even know who Swifty was at that time. Wait, no, yeah, I did. I did know who Swifty was. But yeah, by Wrath of the Lich King, I did. Everybody was happy. And then these are the kind of motivational techniques that Talib would use on us whenever we were raiding. Find a checkbox for shitty at the game and make sure it isn't clicked. And this is the kind of stuff that he would tell us in the middle of the raid whenever things weren't going well. Everybody knew it. At the end of every single raid, After I did the stuff with Kryptonites, I went with my mom, and she helped me every single night. Every single night. And we would do Sethakal's Heroic in order to get the mount from Anzu. And it took a long, long fucking time. And we would do this together, just the two of us, me and my mom, every night doing this dungeon on Heroic. This is my life. And it was beautiful. It really was. Talib also liked to have fun too. He wasn't just a bad guy. He liked to have fun. He liked to enjoy himself. And I also like to have fun. I like to play a game called the All Cock and Balls Challenge. And it's a game that I play with Blizzard. And every single new character that I would make, I would rename it to All Cock and Balls. And I would see what level I could get my character to before Blizzard removed the character and made me change my name. I named every character All Cock and Balls. And Blizzard renamed every single one of them. I never got one all the way to max level. It was unfortunate, but there it is. One fateful night. One fateful night, our guild decided that we were tired of farming Naxxrama's 25-man, and we wanted to take the next step. We wanted to go the extra mile. We wanted to take that extra leap. And we went in there on one Tuesday night, and we attempted Immortal for the first time. We chose the military wing first, because Resuvius was the highest chance of killing somebody at the very beginning. We attempted Resuvius, and someone died. The morale of the guild had never been lower. They had never been lower. But we were told that if we had waited for 2 hours, that the instance would soft reset and we would have another chance to go for Immortal. And we came back. And we waited for 2 hours and we AFK'd together. And 2 hours later, we went back into Nax that same night, and we killed Resuvius, and no one died. And we killed all the rest of the bosses in the other 4 first wings, and no one died. We killed Saffron, and no one died. And we got right here to Kel'Thuzad. And you know what? No one died. We were the first guild on the Alliance to achieve the Immortal. And we were the only guild that ended up getting it before Ulduar came out. This right here was one of the biggest accomplishments that I had had. From all this time, I had already been part of the guild, but we were always seen as a has-been guild. We didn't have that one thing that just showed that we were that much better than everybody else. Until this night. Until right here. Whenever we got this achievement, and we accomplished this, we set ourselves above every other guild. Every guild tried to get Immortal, and they could never do it. They did their best. They tried as hard as they could. But we went in there, and on our first try, we got Immortal, and we regained our place as the top Alliance guild on the server. For the first time since the middle of Burning Crusade. And I wasn't just on the sidelines watching. I wasn't just part of a guild kill after, another guild had killed it, like a wake-up call. I was there on the front lines, and I was there in the raid myself. And I got it. And I was part of that. I said, look at my title. He says, wow, fuck you so much. True. Very fucking true. And there was only one left for us to do. There was the Malagos speedrun kill. And you know what? I'm going to be honest. It was pretty hard to do. We couldn't do it that day. But we did go back, and we completed Glory of the Hero. And I got my red Proto-Drake for the first time. I did that there with Takina. I think Celebi, this guy, honestly, Celebi was a fucking god. Like, this guy was the best druid, like the best druid tank I've ever played with. He was so fucking good, man. And Valther, like, these were all the fucking boys. I tried using a different UI and I swapped over away from it, but I did get Glory of the Hero. And there's my there's me on my mount right there. I was felt like a boss. At this point, I was the only warrior basically on the server who was DPS who had that title. I had the one thing that nobody else had. And anybody who thought that they were better than me, all they had to do was read my fucking name and they knew they weren't. I was proud of myself. I really was. And there's me right there. That's right. This is the face of a winner. This is the face of a champion. This is the face of a warlord. And you know what? We went back to Malagos. And we fucking got it. And we ended up getting the Black Proto-Drake. The mount that I get on. This was back in the day whenever I got it. And we completed Glory of the Raider on 25-man before Ulduar was released. I learned the mount right there. And that's me riding it for the first time. 16 FPS. My computer wasn't that good. And there we are. All together as a guild. Taking screenshots in front of Ulduar. Ready for the next raid tier. Portleys, thank you very much for the 5 gifted community subs. I appreciate that very much. Obviously, a lot of us are flying around. We're very happy. Everything's very, very good. Again, that's me tanking gear, talking shit to people who have bad gear. That's fucking epic. Staunch Signet. Just making fun of people, just being a general jackass because I didn't want them to roll on my gear. I was leveling up my Paladin as well. I wanted to do that. And I also came back and I got the Undying on 10-man as well. And you know what? Rob and I were playing again. And we ended up getting all the rest of our shit done. And again, Rob and I were becoming very, very good friends. And Rob introduced me to, was it Rob? It might have been somebody else. I met this girl at that time. And this is another one of the main characters in the story. I met Cora. And this was, I remember it very, very clearly. At this point, I was an aggressive asshole, and I was able to pretty much talk down anybody that I knew, and nobody would ever question me or do anything like that. And I joined this random raid, this random group, with this druid, this girl. And I was talking to her, and she wouldn't listen to me. I was like, why is this bitch not listening to me? Like, I'm literally telling her she's stupid and wrong at the game, and she doesn't respect the fact that I'm fucking immortal. I have the Black Proto-Drake. You don't have shit. Like, what the fuck do you mean? And so, yeah, I'm like, what do you... Yeah, team name? Celebrity status? Oh, the other one. Okay, let's move on. I didn't see that. Anyway. So, yeah, that's the thing. And so this girl, I talked to her, and it made such an impression on me because she was actually not willing to take my shit. And it was weird because I kind of liked it. And I remember what happened was she didn't have a battle res, she didn't have like the acorns for battle resing. And so she didn't have the acorns for battle resing. And later on, after the run, I bought an acorn, and I mailed it to her. And I was like, there you go. This is what you need. Make sure to hold on to this. And we began talking. And this lasted for a few days or so, going back and forth. And I ended up talking to her. I was like, I was talking to her about, like, my parents, and I was talking to her, and I was like becoming friends with her. And it was really kind of weird, honestly, because at this point I'm like, why am I talking to this girl who I think is a complete idiot, And also, you know, doesn't know how to play the fucking game. But I liked her. I did. I liked her. I talked to her all the time. And going soft, you know, something like that. And so that's basically what it was. Simp, it's a dude. Well, listen, I wasn't completely a different person, okay? I was still yelling and raid warning whenever people were wiping in Molten Core because nobody would kill the Core Hounds at the same time, okay? Like, listen, I wasn't gone. I was still the same old Asmongold. I was still the same old guy. And you know what? I went back and I leveled up my Paladin as well. I was playing with other people. And then after a while, patch 3.1 or 3.2, I forgot which one, came out. And Ulduar was released. And so was Dual Spec. We got Dual Spec unlocked. And we logged on. I want you guys to look at the time right there. The servers were down on the Ulduar release, the release day, for like 12 hours. It was so bad. Like, we didn't even get into Ulduar until way, like, 10 p.m. at night, man. It was so fucking bad. It was a terrible fucking time. But we did eventually get into Ulduar. The patch came out, and I went in there on the first day with my guild. And I thought it was really hard. I did. I was like, what the fuck, man? How can we possibly beat this boss? And you know what? It took some time. It took a lot of effort, but we beat it. And I went there with my guild for the first night, and we did Ulduar together that night. And we finished a few other ones, but we really only got Flame of Leviathan down that day. The next day began one of the biggest raid days of my life. We woke up in the very beginning of the morning. It was 5 p.m., I guess. It was kind of wild. And we raided Ulduar for hours. We raided Ulduar from whenever we woke up to whenever we went to bed. And we went through all of the bosses. It took us a long time. It really did. Any room in Ulduar for DPS? Not for you. I was a dickhead. I still am a dickhead. I was more of a dickhead then. We did all of the bosses together with my guild. And this was us. We were the top guild on the server at this point, or besides Ascent. And we were just popping off. We were doing what we needed to do. And we cleared pretty much all of Ulduar on the first day. I was extremely happy about it. But there was a little bit of a problem, though. Yeah, look, you know, it is what it is. I had screenshot dead. Wait, was I dead in every picture? No, man, I wasn't dead in this one. I wasn't dead in that one. I was dead in that one and in that one. And yeah, okay. Yeah, but like that, it is what it is, right? I mean, look, I was doing what I needed to do. Okay? And I'll tell you guys why I was dead. Do you guys want to actually know why I was dead? I'll explain it. My computer was really, really bad. It was so bad that whenever I would try to render particles, it wouldn't happen. And we couldn't render particles. And I want you to think about the boss that we're killing right here. And the next boss, of course, is Yogg-Saron. Now, what particle effect does Yogg-Saron do that you need to make sure that you avoid? Does anybody know? Because maybe you don't. Maybe you're a new player. You don't really fully understand it. Let me go ahead and explain exactly what it is. The clouds. That's right. The clouds. Guess who had a computer so shitty they couldn't even see the clouds? Hey guys, why are all these mobs spawning? What the fuck? I didn't think it's that hard. Why is this happening? And my guild at this point was not very happy with me. They really were not. It was not good. Are you Asmongold? He's online, you idiot. Yeah, people were pretty stupid. And also on top of that, my guild decided that I would not be in for Yogg-Saron progression. They decided I would not do it. And I ended up playing more with Cora as well. This is her little alt. She played like a priest. And we leveled the character together as well. And this is whenever I started hanging out more with her. Missing one bad. Yep, there's Cora. And Cora is going to be an ongoing member of the story for a very, very long time. Actual woman? Yeah, so it was a real girl. I know it might be a surprise for you. And then there's also the Binding of the Windseeker. And that's whenever I got it. Oh, yeah, okay, that's whenever my friend got it. I guess we got another one of those, and I screenshotted it as well. And then that's us and the boys over in Wintergrass hanging out. Me with Dr. Goodheels again. Again, like, I played with this guy for years. It was fucking amazing. And there were some bosses that I could still do good DPS, and I ended up defeating some of the Old War hard modes as well. I felt pretty fucking good about that, especially doing it so early whenever we did. And I also wanted to include this screenshot right here so you guys could see that my really bad inventory management skills, this is not something that's new. This is not something that like, oh, you know, Asmongold just started being really bad at inventory management. No, this is something that's been going on literally for my entire life. This is what I do. Keep it in mind. This is what I fucking do. And after a while of my mom and I farming Anzu at night, at the end of my raids, it fucking dropped. The Reigns of the Ravenlord fucking dropped. It was one of the mounts that I had really, really, really fucking wanted. My mom, she passed on the Reigns of the Ravenlord for me. I got the achievement. And I took a screenshot. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. Yes. And she was just happy for me. And there's me with the mount. Okay, come outside. I wanted her to take a screenshot with me. I was so happy that she helped me summon, because back then you could only summon if you were a druid. And my mom happened to be a druid, so she was able to summon them out for me. And I did it every single night with her. Later on, fast forward 7 years later, 4 years later, something like that, 5 years later. My mom never got Anzu herself. She didn't really care about it as much as I did, but she knew how much I cared about it, and I got it for her. Warlords of Draenor came out, and the collector's edition gave you a special mount, the Dread Raven, which was basically a flying version of the Ravenlord. And back then, I had a little bit of money. I had just started YouTube, but I didn't have enough money to buy 2 collector's editions. I could only buy 1 collector's edition at that point, and I bought the collector's edition and I gave it to my mom as thank you for this moment right here, for helping me get Anzu all those years ago. And she still has the mount now. Yep. That's the fucking lore, boys. That's the fucking lore. I was very happy to have this mount. I had plenty of screenshots on it. Some a little bit more scuffed than others. But I did what I needed to do. And I also got 2K rating in Arena. It was pretty good. I was happy about it. And I also got her to do ZG with me as well. So after she did that, I was like, hey, Mom, why don't we go ahead and go do ZG instead? Let's go farm over for the Panther mount or for the Tiger mount. Let's go do the Raptor mount too. And she's like, oh, okay, sure. And so I just immediately got her to start helping me farm another mount as well, man. I'm doing what I need to fucking do. And then this is just me talking shit to some random ass fucking guy in Ironforge. It's what I did. Some random guy showed up on the server. I thought he fucking bought his account, and then he ended up logging out. There's me right there on my Amani Warbear with my Furious Gladiator's Bone Grinder, just pimping out, doing what I need to do. And I want to go ahead and show you guys this again. This is another great comment about me. I know, man, just how I am. I feel it makes me look bad at you, and I respect you from one of your reputation. You're the whole reason I leveled my warrior. I was a legend on the server at that point. I was a wizard on the server at that point. And I want to go ahead and show this moment right here. This moment is what was called the Battle of the Battle Masters. Many years ago, a young Asmongold obtained the title Battle Master. I was the first player on the server to have the title. I would refer to myself as the Battle Master. It was all I would think about. I was so happy that I had it. And I was the only one. I would show it off constantly. And I would lord it over other people to just let them know how much better I am than them. A druid transferred to our server. And he had Battle Master. I was linking it in chat, talking about how great I was. He said, I have the title too. I said, no you don't, bitch. Fuck you. You're trash. I run this server. You're a fucking nobody. And we start talking shit to each other in trade chat. And I said, you know what? If you're a real battle master, come out to the gates of Ironforge and duel me. Head to head. Face to face. And we'll see who the real battle master of this server is. There can only be one battle master on this server. So I go outside of Ironforge, and everybody is out there waiting. They're waiting to see this go down. They want to know what's going to happen. Because here it is. I mean, here's all Asmongold is bringing this fucking kid in there. And they knew me, but this druid is like an unknown entity. Like, who is this guy? And so anyway, I was not very happy about it. I was a little bit nervous. But many people here, they had faith. And there he is. Tyrannix, the other battle master. And I dueled him. And I popped perception at the very beginning of the duel. And I fucking destroyed him. I absolutely fucking destroyed him. I called him a poor baby. I talked so much shit to this guy that he quit the fucking game. And you know why? It's because I was the battle master and he wasn't. I beat him in front of everybody on the server. Everybody in my guild came out there to watch it. I told the story. This guy logged off, and he never logged on again. Fuck him, dude. I redueled him again, I believe, and then he ended up quitting. That's the way it fucking goes, boys. That's the way it fucking goes. I bullied him. Nah, man. He stepped up. He stepped up. He was talking shit. I was talking shit. And he wanted the 1v1. He got it. He lost. That's the way it goes. Fuck him. Like, he walked out there himself. He came out there himself. What do you think? He's, nah, man. He fucking came out there. He was doing what he had to do. Yeah, I fuck it up. Beat his fucking ass. That's what you get. You try and contest the battle master, man. I was leveling my my rogue as well. As you guys can see, I have great naming conventions. Incarcerated was Cora. Big surprise here. I was leveling with her again. I was playing with her again. At this point, I also wanted to show this guy right here. This guy's name is MeSucks. This was the worst player on the server. This was literally the worst player on the entire server. We recruited him in Burning Crusade, and we needed him to tank Archimond. and we summoned him in to Archimond, and we full buffed him up. And Talib realized, because he noticed something a little bit weird on his armor. He noticed that MeSucks didn't have a lot of health, even though he had all of his armor on. So Talib was going through all of his buffs and all of his armor trying to figure out what it was. And it turned out that MeSucks had res sickness, and he was ready and telling everybody he was prepared to tank fucking Archimond. No, he had res sick. He took the summon, he joined the raid, he's like, alright guys, we ready. And he was ready to tank it. And Talib G-kicked him on the fucking spot. Oh my god, it was beautiful for me to fucking see that. And I screenshot him later on to see how much of an idiot he was. But anyway, my guild did finally take me in, and they did me a favor. And they let me kill Yogg-Saron with everybody in the guild on 25 man. The unfortunate reality of this situation, I want to see this right here. Whenever I said that people would refer to me like that, I really meant it. Like, I'm telling you, like, the stupid shit that used to happen on my server, it was real. It was actually fucking real. Like, I'm not, like, making any of this up. It's totally fucking stupid-ass bullshit. This part right here is gonna be, I gotta take a piss. I'll be right back. Give me a second. Wash your hands? Why would I wash my hands? Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, what do you mean? So look, obviously I was a complete idiot, and I was also removed from the raiding team. I had been removed from the raiding team in World of War, and the reason that I had been removed is because I was lazy. My mom's downstairs, so I don't want to say this pretty loud. Basically, there was a time on Mimiron where I was tabbing back and forth in during the fight, and I was jerking off, like watching porn or something like that. And I remember tabbing out, and then the last frame that I saw was Mimiron casting the Explosion Nova. And I told people, I'm like, I held down the, like, push the talk key. I'm like, guys, I'm lagging. And they're like, oh, okay. And then I died, because I knew I couldn't tab back in time to get out of it. So my guild told me in the least nice way possible, get the fuck out of the raid, you useless piece of shit. And I said, okay. I didn't want to raid anymore. I said, fuck it. That's fine with me. I'm lagging. No, I was being a piece of shit. It's true, I was. I mean, I think everybody kind of knows that. It's not a secret. It's not special or anything like that. It is what it is. So, you know what happened? Slowly, as time went on, a lot of the people in the guild at this point, they had been playing the game for 5 years. Super hardcore. And many people in 5 years, many of them started off whenever they were first in high school, maybe in college, and now they're getting out of college, and they're getting jobs. And they weren't able to raid as much. We were losing players left and right. It was really fucking sad. And I was over there, sitting all by myself, fucking around, doing nothing. And I hate to say it, but Overdose fell apart. My guild that I had wanted to be a part of ever since Wrath Vanilla WoW, before I even hit level 60, the guild fell apart, and a lot of the members left, and it disbanded. Well, I'm gonna leave this guild. I would say goodbye, but you guys will probably come, so I'll see you later. This was me whenever I was about to quit the guild. The guild that I had wanted to be a part of ever since the beginning of playing the game. I had wanted this so much, and at this moment I was about to leave. I decided to take it on myself, that I would take up the mantle of being the new guild master of the new guild. And instead of relying on other people, I would do it myself. And I went with my friends, Rob, and everybody else. And I made my own guild. And I called it something that I thought was very accurate. I called it Pariah. And I made it myself. And I made it as the guild master with Rob as my second in command. And we made our guild together. And we kept the things going. And on our first night of being a guild, we raided World of War and we killed bosses together. And I built up this guild with some of the remnants of Overdose and some of my old friends as well. But many of them had left and many of them have gone. I started recruiting people out of other guilds. And I did everything that I could to make my own way and to do my own thing. Because at the end of the day, I was the guild master, and I had my opportunity to really take my shot and see what I could do as a guild master. And I did. And I went and I did, you know, different other random shit. People in the guild were playing together. We killed Moz for my little quest line as well. I was very happy about that. And there's me right there. As you can see, there's me and Cora as well. From back in 2009. I finished my quest line pretty much entirely. Trial of the Crusader released. And I came in there with my brand new guild as the leader of the guild. And we cleared the bosses. We actually did it. Like, we were actually successful. And I was doing a pretty good job. Everything was great. People were happy, and we were getting our stuff done. We were getting our mounts, etc. And the way that we recruited people was actually very simple. Explain it will take his friends. The way I used to do things. I was shameless. I was heartless. And I was soulless the way I would recruit. People would tell me that they don't want to be they don't want to leave their guild unless it falls apart. And I thought to myself, okay, that's easy. I'll just recruit other people out of the guild that do want to leave. And I had no intention of really playing with them, but I recruited enough people out of their guild to where the guild did fall apart. Then I was able to recruit the people that I initially wanted to play with, and I kicked out the people that I didn't. I poached every guild on an entire server, and I collapsed 3 entire guilds to create the best raiding team that I possibly could. I did everything that I needed to do. And Rob and I would sit around on Skype or fucking whatever the hell we used back then on Vent, and we would formulate plans and plots on how we could manipulate the other guilds into falling apart and steal all of their best core members to make our guild more powerful and better. This is all we would do, is we would think about how to fuck over other guilds. And we basically killed the entire Alliance raiding scene on Thrall. Like, we actually did. Like, we killed, like, every other guild, minus one. My guild was known as a ninja looting guild, full of assholes. And that's why we called ourselves Pariah, is because we owned it. People were not happy about this at all. They were angry. The pussy right now. Why would you want to duel me? You're not going to get loot. We give loot to those who deserve it. Let me guess, that wasn't him. People were angry. They would make alts. They would make forum threads about me. They were furious constantly at the fact that I was able to just go in there and have my guild and do whatever we wanted. We were the most toxic guild on the server, and there was nobody that was even remotely close. That toxicity led us to success. But as time went on, I actually had to stop raiding. Or I was late to raids at the very beginning because I had a class in community college at that time. And I had to put somebody else in charge. I had to put Rob in charge. Rob was an even bigger asshole than I was. And eventually, it's not Rob's fault all the way. Eventually, our guild, we didn't really do very well. I helped make this guy's sulfurous Hand of Ragnaros. This is another girl that we had kicked out of the guild. Let's say something like that again, I'll QQ and rage quit. Obviously, more guild drama at a certain time. This is an idiot that I kicked out of the guild. I thought it was funny because I didn't fucking like him. I was leveling up. I was playing with Blackleaf. This guy right here, we got 2200 together back in Wrath of the Lich King. We were still raiding and playing together, and everything was generally okay. But there was a very large amount of toxicity that existed in the game and in the guild. There's me right there with my character. Out my face. That's Dr. Goodheels. That's me and my fucking boy. He and I were very good friends, and we stayed good friends for a very long time. But the fact is that, this couldn't really last forever. It really couldn't. And the guild was beginning to show a little bit of its cracks, and there were problems. But I do want to say, to be under the leadership of a battle master, just be honest, say I want to be in a raid. Listen, everybody still recognized me as the leader, but the fact is that I had things that were calling my attention, and I didn't have the time to be a guild master as much as I would have. It was unfortunate. It really was. It's sad. Somebody asked me, how much DPS do you do? I said, it depends on the fight. And they said, Patrick. And I said, what's that? Patrick. Obviously, he meant patchwork. But I just thought that was funny. I would add that one in there. And there's my character right there. And again, there's me doing BGs with Cora. It was good. It was a very good time. I was very happy. Everything was good. We were playing together. She was never really part of the guild that much. And the guild was starting to fall apart. One day I logged on. And Rob sent me I checked the guild bank. I logged on and I checked the guild bank. And Rob had sent me in-game mail. He had said to me, Asmon, I transferred servers. The other half of the guild bank is yours. Let's go, man. So you know what I did? He stole one half of the guild bank. I stole the other half of the guild bank. And on my final day on this server, my mom sent me a special little present, a going away present. I transferred to kill Jaden with Rob, with the entire rest of the guild bank. We stole everything out of our own guild, and we left. I still have the letter. Yes, I still have the letter. I transferred over to kill Jaden thinking that I would have opportunities to raid, to PvP, to pop off, to do things that I had never done before, to achieve heights I had never been at before, to do something to achieve on a level that I never thought was even an opportunity for me. I never thought that I could even do this. And I wanted to take my chance. I wanted to go out there, and I wanted to do everything that I could and really see what I was capable of. Could I ever really do it? I left Cora behind. I left everyone behind. I left my mother behind. I left everything that I knew behind. And Rob and I went to this new server to see what we could do and to see if we could join and be part of this new, bigger, better guild and actually really take things to the next level. We got to 2,400 easily. We easily got to, 2,400. We were popping off, farming people like fucking crazy. We were gods. This was back whenever I was playing the game, and I really had a chance to actually farm and do well. We beat a lot of really good players. We did amazing. I couldn't believe it. And you know what? Everything was going really fucking well. Everything was going amazing. We were beating all of the best teams. But the truth is that at this point, I had learned that I didn't have a guild. I didn't have any real friends on the server. I was by myself. And it slowly started creeping into me that I might have made one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made. I transferred away from everybody just for arena raiding. Just to beat other PvPers. Super cool. Very awesome. At the end of the day, it didn't matter. I was playing with myself, and that was about it, man. I got my special little bronze drake, and I want to show this little screenshot here, because this screenshot is going to lead the way into the rest of this story. What ended up happening here is I was still logging back on. I found myself not logging onto my warrior anymore. I stopped playing my warrior. It's kind of sad to say, but I did. I just stopped playing it. I ended up logging back onto my alts much more often than I was logging onto my warrior because my alts were still on my server with all of my friends on it. The guildmaster of the new guild that had reformed with the remnants of my remnants of the remnants of Overdose was called Phobia. The guildmaster was a girl named Charmed, and she mistold me, baby, we're gonna make it work. I screenshotted this because I knew who she was talking to. She was talking to Rufian, the warrior who had taken my Dragonspine trophy chances and insulted me back in Burning Crusade. I never forget. I never forget. And I found out that they were in a relationship just by this. And so I used that. I want to go ahead and show... I'll get back to that in a minute, okay? I'll get back to that in a minute. So I don't really pay attention to douchebags when I'm talking, but you said, I'm looking for a screenshot of the Realm forums. Good luck with that. This guy completely went off the fucking rails. I want to go ahead and read you a message this guy sent me because he was so angry at well, the kind of person I was. Look, I'm just going to add you to ignore. I'll keep in mind that you're an XOD member. You're like Ruffian atheists like Talib. You're a bunch of worthless assholes who measure their value by how much gear they have or what content they clear. Which was true. This is totally, completely true. But you know what? We were better than he was. We were way better than he was. It's clear to me that everyone on the server that I'm a better player than anyone that was ever a member of Overdose. Just because I don't get carried hardcore like you do doesn't mean I can't be in a raid killing Yogg +0. Also, I haven't cleared TOGC because I don't have 24 other people to carry me. But if I did and I have a raid to raid TOGC with, I would carry them, not the other way around. You'll probably say, lol, duel, but that's where real skill is measured, in a 1v1. Arena is a test of comp and a test of strat, not a test of skill. You get carried like crazy, and I carry like crazy. I think you're just jealous, as all the other elitist assholes in your old guild. But hey, what do you care? You don't have to take me seriously. Anyways, you can log the chat now and take screenies and make a forum post. Then maybe you can turn it into an Overdose style thread. My guild was so known for drama that we would make threads on the Realm forums all the time, and we were just known as the drama guild. Like anything that's any bullshit that was happening in my guild at all, it was completely because of that. So Ruffian, I never liked Ruffian. I never did. And you know why I didn't like Ruffian? It's because he did that shit to me. Because he thought for even a second that he can be slightly as good as I am. I knew I was better than he was. I knew he was a bitch. And I waited and I bided my time. That's me and Jeff leveling our characters together. That's me and Jeff again leveling our characters together. It was fun. And that's me right there. Playing with my, playing with the Nixie as well. Play with my boys. And we went into ICC. The raid came out. And you know what? We cleared it pretty fucking easily, honestly. We really did. There's Ruffian right there. He was the loot master. He was the raid leader. For now. I bided my time. And I waited. And I took my chances. And I took my opportunity whenever time had its place. And I want to make sure, let me just see where I'm at with everything. Okay, yeah, I'm about there. And you know what? It's coming. It's coming. This is me tanking Onyxia. The raid was, I was the main tank, but it wasn't going well. And so Jeff was like, man, fuck this. I don't need loot. Not gonna waste all my gold for Ani. You wanna do heroics? And I'm like, yeah, bro. I'm gonna hurt the fuck out. I'm main tanking this shit. I'm out. I'm outie, bitch. I hurt the fuck out while I was main tanking. Me and Jeff said, fuck that shit. We're out. We're done. We're out that fucking raid, man. Who cares? Why didn't you join Cuties Only? Cuties Only was Horde. We joined, we were on More Certa. I think that was the guild that Rob joined. On like, we had a friend that was in Cuties Only. It was a Horde guild on Kill Jaden, and we could have probably gotten in, but I didn't want to faction transfer. So anyway, I was sitting there just chilling. Cora, they wouldn't even let Cora in the guild. Can you believe that? They wouldn't even let Cora in the guild. It's disgusting. You know, it was sad. And I was still raiding with them. I was doing okay. I was doing what I needed to do. Do you know who Asmongold is? And I said, best warrior DPS in the server. I said, yeah, that's actually me. That's because it was. I was a great player. And I was over there on Kill Jaden on my warrior. And guess what kind of a guild this was? I got to Crayon. It's a PvP guild. Big surprise. I know you would have never expected that, but I was on a PvP guild. And it was a complete guild full of absolute dipshits. And there's me right there playing on Kill Jaden. I had all of the Ruthless Gladiator gear pretty much. And I was doing really well. I was in, I actually had some of the fucking Raffle Gladiator gear even. And I was very happy. And I had a message. I had a message from an old friend. A friend that I had known ever since Burning Crusade. He said to me, basically all the people who were in Overdose and Driven, whatever, were thinking of continuing raiding in some fashion. Maybe bringing back Overdose, but that's up in the air. I said if that happens, nobody else wanted to commit to this. Nobody else wanted to bring the guild back together. Nobody else wanted to take the first step, the first leap. I said if that happens, I'll transfer my warrior back after I get 2,500. It was time. I was leveling with Korra again. I left my other guild. I left I Got a Crayon. I joined and I did ICC 10-man heroic. I was doing the 10-man heroics very, very early on. I joined another stupid fucking guild. And did it really matter? No, it didn't. Nobody gave a shit. I got tribute to insanity as well. And I remember this very, very clearly. I rolled a 100 on this fucking item. And the item before this that I had rolled on was the fucking mount. I rolled a 2 on the fucking mount. And then I rolled a 100 on the item that I didn't want. And I remember I slammed my head onto that wall right there so loud that my neighbor turned his light on. Because he was like, what the fuck is going on? Is there like, somebody dying over there? I was so angry. And I screenshotted it because how fucking pissed off I was. So I thought that, you know what? It might be time. It might be time for me to make this guild fall apart. It might be time for me to ruin this guild. And so I posted the screenshots. I exposed Rufian. And that with another bit of a GDKP drama. I turned the entire guild against him. And I made everybody quit his guild. And then everybody else rejoined a new guild that he was not part of. It took me 3 years to fuck him. But I fucked him. And the reason why I did that, number one, he sucked dick. Fuck that stupid ass bitch. Fucking pull that shit on me. Gonna see what happens. Never forget. And on top of that, the other reason why I did that is I knew that they would not leave the server. Some of the people were too comfortable. And I broke the guild apart. I also got, by the way, I got Baron Rivendare's charger on my mage too. It was great. And I left that guild as well. And I took one final screenshot. I took one final screenshot of my warrior over in Kill Jaden. And everybody, things were still really kind of up in the air at that point. Nobody knew if they wanted to join another guild or anything like that. They had no idea. And Blackleaf, the guy who I had played with and done arena with, we decided that if we were going to do it, it would be on a special other server that he had transferred to. That server was Kel'Thuzad. Before anybody else had committed to it, everybody else was waiting for somebody else to take the leap. I took the leap. I transferred over to Kel'Thuzad after, of course, I looted myself. Since I'm the only one that can loot the eye, I'll take it if that's cool. I can too. Yeah, it's a 2-end. Yeah, you're a druid. Yeah, I might as well just take the... Yeah, I just take the eye. It is what it is, right? And I joined Kel'Thuzad. And we reformed Overdose with all of the old people in my guild. Everybody came back. I took the first step. And for the first time, I was part of a guild, and I was part of my group of friends once again. The boys are back in town. This was such a monumental moment for me. It was something that was so important and so meaningful for me. To see my entire guild come back together because we wanted to raid together again in Cataclysm. I took the first step. I said, fuck it. I don't have anything here in Kil'jaeden. Even for the chance to be able to raid with all of my friends again, I will immediately take it, and I'll do it. I don't care what it takes. I don't care what I need to do. I'm going to do it, and it doesn't fucking matter. And I went over, and I transferred to Kel'Thuzad, and I was one of the founding members of the guild. And I reformed it over on Kel'Thuzad, and I was trying to bring all the boys back together. And you know what? We did. We fucking did. We started making the guild again. We started getting everybody back together again. Everybody was raiding again. We only had a few people that were in the guild. We were just fucking around and having fun. We were doing whatever we could do together. We were just happy to be playing together once again. There's me, Talib, Rysafel, by accident, all of the old guys that were playing in the old guild, they were back together again, raiding on Kel'Thuzad. And that's what brought me to my server. It's because my guild reformed here because Blackleaf was already here, and we wanted to join his server. We went over there, and I got my legendary weapons. And of course, I still did keep in contact with other people. But I also started farming, and I started playing the game as much as I did. There was a point in time in Trial of the Crusader where I was about ready to quit the game. I didn't really care about it that much anymore, and after I had left all of my friends, and I was all alone on that other server, I didn't realize how important it was for me to have my friends and have my relationships that I had. And I came back to Kel'Thuzad with a renewed interest of the game, and also a renewed group of friends that I was going to play with and take into Cataclysm and really finish the rest of the raid tier with. And I also farmed out a lot of the old mounts. I got the original Zulian Tiger. I farmed that shit out all by myself. I did it. It took me quite a while. I think I did it all by myself. It was either me or some other guy. I forgot if it was. I got my Shadow's Edge as well. I did what I needed to do. And then also, there's Haste. The same guy that messaged me, and he said that people are going to come back and rejoin and make the guild over again. There's us. With our black protodrakes that we had obtained on the old server. Together again. Once again, in our old guild, our new guild, on Kel'Thuzad. There we are, doing Naxxramas. Talib, me, all the boys. Teflon, that's the warrior, or sorry, the rogue hunter, played both of them, that invited me to the guild. Me and Rysafel, this is a good friend of mine that I played with back in the day, who's also an Overdose. And there was us, taking on ICC together in a 10-man. We didn't really have a whole lot of people back then, and we had to recruit people over time. Swifty, by the way, that's not actually Swifty. That was ST Pally. We did everything together. We were playing together. Talonor and Rysafel and me, we played the game together all the time. And I looted, I think, this to Talonor as well. Somebody else was not happy about me. I'm not really surprised about that. It's pretty much the usual. I screenshotted this. I don't know why. Like, at this point, I stopped screenshotting all the games that I was just top damage and top healing on. Like, this is a normal battleground for me. It's not really a big deal or anything like that. This is just a normal BG. So, yeah, it was pretty nice. I was a good player. And we also killed the Lich King. Now, at this time, Jeff was living at my house. Jeff would sit behind me on that computer over there. Well, at that desk over there. And he would say, Zach, it was 3 a.m. I said, what, Jeff? He says, how's it gonna feel? I said, how's it gonna feel when what, Jeff? He says, how's it gonna feel whenever I kill the Lich King before you? I turn around, and I look at him. He's wiping in phase 1. I said, Jeff, you're not gonna kill the Lich King. You fucking suck. You're not gonna kill the Lich King before me. I'm a fucking god. You ain't shit. He says, we'll find out. Jeff stayed up until 6 in the morning raiding. He didn't kill the Lich King. I did. I killed the Lich King. Jeff was not happy about that. But I did what I needed to do. And we defeated the Frozen Throne. And I got my shit. I was very happy about that. Jeff didn't kill the Lich King until way later when it didn't fucking matter. I got it way earlier. And also, remember what I told you guys? I told this story many times of all of the different players and all of the different tanks and everything, and how outnumbered the Horde was in Wintergrasp in Kel'Thuzad, and how we had all of the tanks just bombarding the one graveyard that the Horde had. This is literally us doing it. These are all the tanks sitting there right at the graveyard, blowing up the horde the moment that they step out of the invulnerability zone. It was fucking great, man. It was a great, amazing fucking time. Fucking PvP, man. It was amazing. I was playing the game all the time. I was never more excited to play the game. I knew that I would log on with that renewed interest for that chance to play with my friends once again, once more. And I was so happy. The boys were back together, the guild was back together, and my friends were transferring over as well. And I was really happy. There were a number of people that had not transferred over at this point. I don't think my mom had came over, and Cora didn't come over either. Cora, we left her behind. We left Cora behind. But I did not leave the Swift Razaji Raptor behind. I got this mount as well. I farmed out both of those. I was extremely happy about that. Talonor one day. He quit the game shortly after this. He logged on. And he said, I've been taking Psychology 1 to meet freshman girls for 5 years. I need to get my life together. I'll see you guys later. It's been real. And Talonor quit the game. One of his friends happened to be watching my stream. And he heard that whenever I said it. And he told me that Talonor is getting married now. Shout out to my boy. I got my 100,000 honorable kills. This is whenever I really started playing the game. Like, I was so fucking serious about playing the game. I was a complete massive fucking neckbeard. This is all I would do. And then my mom, I showed this right here. My mom sent me a little pet, a little pet for my pet bombling, and a special tasty cupcake and some snowballs for my birthday. And she was leveling a new character on Kel'Thuzad to play with me again, so we could play on the same server again. And she would end up leveling up the character, and yeah, that's what happened. We also did ICC 10-man heroic too. Like, we weren't playing games. We were here to fucking win. We were here to get this shit done. And there we are. And we were doing Sindragosa. This was one of the hardest ones on 10-man. We didn't have a 25-man group at this point because not everybody had transferred over. But at this point, we had Masuga. Masuga is Rixa. He renamed his character. Crimser, I still talk to every once in a while. Talib, of course, by accident. Dizzy, this is the same guy who was the DK, who is also the priest that we had recruited. Basically, I don't know if you guys remember from the Burning Crusade screenshot stream, the priest Bozy, who was originally a horde shaman that kept going into Ironforge and dying, and we finally just recruited him into the guild. Well, he's still here with us. Kryptonite's quit. Yeah, Kryptonite's quit the game. I should have actually taken his account. He gave me his account information for Atiesh, and I could have actually merged my account and I could have Atiesh, but I didn't think of doing it. I feel stupid for not doing it, but yeah, there it is. Obviously, I did amazing DPS, of course. It goes without saying, but yeah, there it is. I got 100 fucking mounts as well. Let me see if I can find that. This is the Lich King. This right here, boys. This was what I had waited for. For all of my time in the game. I had waited for this to defeat the heroic Lich King. And after we killed Sindragosa, I had my first glimpse of what I wanted to do. My first chance to beat his ass. Ruby Sanctum came out. We completed that as well. It was quite easy. It wasn't difficult whatsoever. It was a complete fucking joke. We completed all the other achievements for the Frostwing Harls, and we did all the other stuff that we needed to do. Well, I got 100 mounts. I finally completed my 100 mount achievement. We were farming out all the other achievements in Ulduar as well. And we also, for the first time, I got a chance to do Algalon. And I took a screenshot of that as well. We completed Observed. And this is also, I want to go ahead and show you guys. Many of the people that are in this raid here I didn't do this with Overdose because Overdose didn't have enough people. But there was another guild on the server. They were doing 25-man pugs for Ulduar. That guild was indestructible. This was the first time that I ever played with them. I made friends in this guild. Now, obviously, I wanted to stay in my guild because that's where my friends were mostly. But I played with them and I did the raids with them. I never thought this would come to anything. I never thought this would matter. But I did. So I made some of these memes. I forgot that I even had these. So I made these memes. So fucking Zach's dad. I told Zach's dad that my character's name was Asmongold. And him, because he was drunk, and his friends were drunk, he heard Asmongold. That's literally where I got the name. It's Zach's drunk dad misunderstanding what I said about my name. Asmongold. He called me that for years. For absolutely fucking years. And I made these little memes from back in the day. Finally get both CG mounts, midlife crisis. Constantly bitch about every aspect of WoW. I love this game. Kill Gondria, then kill the hunter that was trying to tame it. Gold capped on food stamps. Just the usual fucking stuff. Tab out and get killed by boss AoE. I lagged. Listen. Everyone in this raid is retarded except me. Listen. Bitch constantly about losing an AV. Kill Rams. Yeah, these are my old fucking Reddit memes from 2009. BOE epic drops and random heroic everyone greeds. Need roll that shit. You know what it is. /2. Why do they call it the Xbox 360? Girls don't play WoW. Fat ones do. Cora did not appreciate this one. This was whenever I became a real asshole. This is whenever my degeneracy reached its apex. I was ninja looting Vault of Archivon 8 times a week. I would ninja loot it just to do it. I was enjoying myself so much. I was so happy. There's never been a point where I had been happier with my life than at this point. I'll go ahead and I'll read some. This is the logic. Asmon, why do you press need on everything from the bosses? So I can vendor it after the run. And why not greed like all of us? Because when I need, I have a better chance of getting it. Need rolled on both of the items. Fuck you, Asmon. I get that a lot. So this was basically this is the way that I would exist. This is what I would do. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. And so anyway, this is me and all the boys. For Adrian, this is my friend Austin. He was a really good friend of mine. He and I went to high school together. We hung out together all the time, and I'm still obviously in contact with him. Austin and I played the game all the time. Like, he would bring his computer over, and he would be right there, and I'd be right here, and we would LAN out every single fucking weekend. And like Cody and Jeff would bring their computer over, and we would all play Wrath of the Lich King together. And we'd also do the same thing with Cataclysm too. And Austin, you guys, I finally got him to play WoW. Like, it took me a long time to get him to play WoW, because I had played ever since like we'd known each other. But I finally had done that. And yeah, we'd bring our computers over. It was fucking amazing. It was great. Missed them days? I did too, man. I really did. And actually, I think I have a video. Let me see if I can find a video.
All right, so here we are. We're in my backyard. Here's code.
This is what we would do this is what we would do whenever we weren't playing the game. Is we randomly caught a raccoon. We randomly caught a fucking raccoon. And you just gotta see the siding of my house. Like I said, we live in a fucking house, right? Off street, yeah, well, off game.
So here we are. We're in my backyard.
There's Cody, Jeff,
and Eddie.
Dude, Eddie got this girl pregnant, and then we never saw Eddie again.
And Jeff and Cleo.
Cleo, my mom was fucking pissed. And Cleo, dude, oh my god. These were the fucking boys, man. We were chilling and hanging out and doing shit all the time, man. Yeah, we were just fucking... having so much fun, even off WoW, off WoW, we were still just chilling, hanging out, being boys, man. And squad goals, 100%, man. We were so happy. We were just hanging out all the time. Like, people would come over, there'd be like 5 people sleeping in a bed together, and like, yeah, nobody gave a fuck. It wasn't weird or like, nobody got offended over it or anything like that. Everything was just totally fucking chill. 100% totally fucking chill. Let me see if I can get some of these other ones playing. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's another one right here. So we've got, there's me right there, and then there's Jeff behind me, and then there's a roach in my bathtub. Bro, dude, Wrath of the Lich King was lit. Bro, Wrath of the Lich King was where it was at, man. And then, oh no, I forgot about this one.
He's been aggroed, and I mean, you know, he likes to choose new targets.
I literally was trolling the shit out of Jeff. I forgot if I said like, you know, a bad word on here, so I can't really play the video, or the audio of the video. So this was Jeff at my house, and Jeff had made a full fucking raid to do, whatever the raid is, right? The eye, to do Kel'Thas, so he could take the mount. And he couldn't do it with full level 80s. And I was video recording him wiping on the raid, narrating it behind him while he was wiping. And you can see him with the fucking Master Looter right there. He never fucking got them out, man. And dude, we were such dicks to each other. It was amazing. Like, oh, it was so fucking good. And let's see if I can show anything else here. Is there anything else here? Nothing else really too much. And then there's him dying. Yeah, he's not very fucking happy about it. Cody's sitting there. He think that shit's fucking funny, man. Everybody was having fun except Jeff. Yeah, everybody having fun except Jeff, man. Jeff was pissed. He was not happy at all. But yeah, Cody was probably in another room playing Halo or some shit, dude. And so this was like the height of our careers, man. We were so happy. We were hanging out with each other all the time. And like, oh yeah, dude, here it is. Here it is. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. That's Cody over there in my room. Fucking playing some goddamn Halo on the 360, man. The old school shit. And this was our life. This was our fucking life. We did this together all day, every fucking day. We were so happy, and it was just so amazing, man. Like, I don't think I can even express how good everything was. We would go to, like, McDonald's, and we would eat McDonald's, and we would just record ourselves eating McDonald's, chilling, doing whatever, man, and playing Wrath of the Lich King. Like, Wrath of the Lich King, to me, was such a fucking great time in my life. Yeah, this was a great fucking time. Do you still talk to him? Yeah, I do. I do, of course. Like, these are my friends, man. I talked to Cody yesterday, actually. Yeah, and yeah, we got the roaches. Yeah, it was the best fucking time ever. Like, we would hang out all the time. There was never any sense of like, oh, you know, like, there was no stress. Like, we were still in fucking, we were kids, right? We were like fucking 19, 20 years old. Like, I think Jeff was like 17. And we just did whatever the fuck we wanted to do. And I would give anything to go back to that. I really would. I'm going to be honest. I would give anything to go back to that. I was so happy then. And it's like now, it's crazy for me to think to myself, that was 10 years ago. That was 10 fucking years ago, man. I can't, I honestly, I feel stupid. I can't let go of it, man. It was so beautiful. I was so happy. I was so happy, man. I never had to worry about anything, and it was like Austin was hanging out. Like, I remember one time, like 8 of us got together, and we were skipping school, and we met and we ate pizza together in the middle of the day, and we were talking about like if we wanted to like egg cars or something like that. It was just so good. It was so fucking amazing. I was happy as hell. This was the pinnacle. This was the pinnacle of living life. And you know what else was the pinnacle? Ninja looting Thordile Star's Fury from a raid. There were a lot of people who were not happy about this, the fact that I got this bow. They were very angry, very upset about Thordile, whatever the hell it's called, right? They were not very happy about this, but you know what? I did what I needed to do, and I completed my 3rd legendary. I was extremely happy about that, and I also went back And I kept playing with the people in Indestructible as well, because they wanted to farm for achievements in the same way that I did. And then as you guys can see, I don't think there's anybody actually even in here that you remember, actually. I can't even tell a story, but yeah, Prius was the one that, she was my connection in Overdose. Like, there's this girl, and I would, like, play with her, because she would do Ulduar every week to get her shards for Valinir. And then eventually, after time went on, I ended up getting my, my Rusted Proto-Drake by playing with them. It was fucking awesome, and it finally goddamn happened. It was amazing. I even farmed out other achievements as well. And as you guys can see, there's somebody that originally wasn't in the story that we left behind. That's now back again. I finally convinced Cora to server transfer over. And I brought her over with me. To Kel'Thuzad. Cora is McConnell. No, Cora's not McConnell. Cora's literally been on webcam. You guys know what she looks like. Like, what do you mean? There's Cora. You guys don't remember her? You guys don't remember her? Really? Yeah. Yeah, and so she was the girl that I found, and I brought her over with me. And let's see, I've got a few other real life. I got this one too. So Aftermath was this shit-ass guild. And I fucking made this picture. Because they fucking were shit-ass guild. Aftermath goes to BlizzCon, man. Yeah, that's basically what it was. I got a bunch of goddamn clowns. Yeah, 2,000 viewers whenever she was on stream. Yeah, dude, people loved Cora. Like, they really liked her a lot. Let's see, I've got, oh yeah, there's a picture of me. This right here, this is the Battlemaster. Okay? Like, this right here, this is the motherfucking Battlemaster. Keep that in mind. And I took the picture, to be fair though, I took the picture of the irony of me wearing the fedora, so keep that in mind. And then also, oh, I have another picture here to show you guys before I do have another picture of Cora, and then I can move on past it. Right? My mom had only wanted one mount in her entire time playing the game. She'd only wanted one mount ever. That mount was the Swift Zebra. I saved up my money. And on Christmas Day, I gave her a little zebra that came together with the rest of the game. And I bought her the Recruit a Friend mount. And I leveled up the character with her. So she was able to get the zebra for her character. I got that for her for Christmas. Let's see, I've got a few more. Let's see, I've got one over here. Oh, that's me and my dad. Yep, me and my dad just chilling. Me looking like kind of an idiot, but you know, it is what it is. A good boy. Yeah, it's me and my dad. And then another one, me and my dad. This is my dad. Like, this expression right here, this is literally like, this is him telling me a fucking story of something that happened 60 years ago. Same Look, I mean, look, it's, look, what, when this guy, December 10th, 2008, right there. So this is right during Wrath of the Lich King. And, yeah, there it is right there, the shirt. Yeah, that's the shirt. And, so yeah, I've had this shirt for a very, very long time. I like the shirt a lot, and I wear it a lot. What can I say? Yeah, there you go. This is just... That's me tired. I probably had to wake up at 5 p.m., man. I was exhausted. Yeah, I was exhausted. I was like, God damn, man, I gotta wake up for this shit. What the fuck? Let's see. Oh, here's another one of Cora. Yeah, she's a nice girl, and so we brought her over. We brought her over to the other realm, and anyway, it took quite a while for us to do that. Let me just go ahead and over here. Let me minimize all the rest of these, and we'll get back to where I'm actually supposed to be at in the story, okay? But regardless, chill out, boys, chill out. And I remember, like, her and I were really good friends for, like, the longest time. And I still talk to her occasionally. Yeah, I mean, obviously, this was from 2008, and I had her on the stream, like, a few years ago, okay? So she's gonna be she's a regular character in the story, all right? So anyway, she knows how popular you are? No, I don't go around talking about that kind of shit, man. Like, I'm a normal guy. I know this might sound weird, but, like, I don't go around talking about, oh, yeah, you know how many followers I have? And I don't even mention it. Like, I don't know. It's not something I do. Anyway, so we ended up doing this, and we brought Cora over. I convinced her to come over to the server, and I completed Gory of the Ice Crown Raider. And you know what I got? I got the fucking mount. And I know that you guys might not really realize how significant this mount really is. Why is this mount so significant? Because this mount is the mount.
Hello, everyone.
That I was riding
drink.
in the Asmongold's Lair video. So just as a method, as a measure of scale, this is the mount. Right fucking there. I took the screenshot and I made the fucking video. That's where it was. That is actually, yeah, no, this is my, look, dude, look, man, it is what it is. All right, look. I was chilling, bruh. I was cold chilling. Look at that, man. God damn. I lived like a king. I was at the height of my career. God damn, I was so, like, I would see, there'd be like it'd be like a forest of straws that you would see, and you'd have to look over them in order to see your monitor. And I was just getting started. I'm gonna say that. I was just fucking getting started. And it was about to go even crazier than that. Oh yeah, this is, it was a good fucking time, I'll say that. I was very happy. Everything was going really well. It was just fucking amazing, man. Absolutely fucking amazing. Let me see if I have any other ones real quick to show you guys, and then we'll move on. And over there, raccoon magnets. This is, I'll show this one real quick, and then I want to move on.
So anyway, my mother and I, we've had a raccoon problem, and every single raccoon we catch, we put a raccoon magnet on the refrigerator that doesn't work.
Like a fighter pilot in World War II.
This is raccoon number 6.
Yep.
And that's right.
Thug life. Thug life. And so yeah, I used to be even skinnier than I am now. Yeah, it's definitely true. How many magnets now? A lot of them. Oh yeah, let me show this one too.
This is the beginning and the end, mortals. None may enter the master sanctum.
I'm Lord Marrowguard, and that's Austin right there. Hit me with the stick.
Run away, little girl. Run away.
That's Dylan in the back. I was saying, these were the days, man. These were the days. Bloodborne boss? Yeah.
Fuck yeah, spirits all dropped.
God, man. Those were the fucking days. Those were the fucking days. That's what we did in Wrath of the Lich King. And that right there was the set for Asmongold's Lair. And at the very beginning here, I want to show this screenshot. Initially, I did not join Indestructible. Ponytails, the current guildmaster of Indestructible at the time, he said, dude, you want to be a main tank for an 11 or 12, 25-man ICC guild? And I said, to be honest, I'm an awful tank. But to be really honest, I didn't want to join the guild because I thought it sucked. Like, that's really the truth. I thought the guild sucked. And I'm like, I don't want to join this guild. But I didn't want to be mean. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to tank. It is what it is. And so I was invited to join Indestructible, but I would never leave my boys. I would never leave overdose. My guild of boys that I had wanted to be playing with ever since vanilla WoW. That wasn't going to happen. That was not going to happen. I made that mistake once before. So Kel'Thuzad had some real interesting people. Shut the fuck up, you ugly-ass fat fuck. Don't let me catch you lurking around the place or it's a proper beatdown. Oh, and I'm Trinabad. I have the most gold on KT. Don't even bother trying to get a group on KT again. This was all after I kicked him out of a pug for BWL. And this dude fucking mauled it out on me. And I fucking took that message and I screenshotted that. I don't know what Trinabad's doing now. Probably living on a yacht because he sold all his gold. But, you know, dude was pissed off. He's a classic Andy. And he's fucking pissed, man. He's fucking pissed. And so, yeah, that's basically what ended up happening. And then a little bit later on, and so I want to talk about a word, reciprocity. I can't pronounce it, but it means paying people back for whenever they do something good for you. You suck my dick. You suck my dick. And you know what happens? Well, I'll suck yours. The Warglaive of Azeroth dropped. And the people who ninja looted me, Thordile, I turned around and I did them the favor of ninja looting them, the Warglaive, back. That is fairly messed up. You didn't roll, I called the fucking roll. Oh yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, yeah, he didn't roll. Well, he did roll. Here's the thing, right? He did roll, but like we had to roll again because he won the roll, so we had to roll again. And so I gave it to my boy. And then I remember this guy was a fucking druid, and he was trying to fucking roll on the sword and then sell it back to them. And I told him he couldn't do it. I said, fuck that. Yeah, and so anyway, I ninja looted the Warglaive for them because they got the bow for me. And then it happened. The dream that I had back in Burning Crusade was starting to become real. I attained, after years of farming, the right part of the bindings of the Windseeker. And just like what happened in Classic WoW, the last one was Gar, and it took me way, way, way too fucking long. Put mass movement, what's that? It's for the binding of the Windseeker. I was extremely happy about it. What must be done? That's me, and I'm ready. And I'm getting the quest done and everything like that. I want to make sure that I have everything else there. Looks like I am, yeah, I've got it. And then this is, oh yeah, I was doing 3s with Talib and Hero. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we were doing, oh. So I told everybody about this story about the raccoons in my house. And we ended up making our arena team called Raccoons in the House. And, you know, it was a real good fucking time, man. Level 80 Thunder Fury. Hey, man, I was happy to have it. And there it is. Obviously, I was playing with, I got my Essence of the Fire Lord. I dragged Korra along there with me. And obviously, you know, we went and did that. And then I went back over. And on one night, myself, Korra, Austin, and our friend Exona, I got my Thunder Fury Blessed Blade of the Windseeker. There it is, boys. There it is. Where's Shadowmourne, though? Shadowmourne didn't happen. Yeah, Shadowmourne did not happen, unfortunately. I was very unfortunate. I was very upset about that. But not getting Shadowmourne... Actually, I should tell this story. Not getting Shadowmourne was such an important event for me. Because, so, we did ICC 25-man pugs every single week. Talib did the pugs every single week. Because he needed to get his Shadowmourne. And he got his Shadowmourne. And then he stopped doing the pugs. And I'm like, well, aren't we gonna do them for me? He's like, yeah, you can start the group. I'm not gonna go through that fucking effort, not for your fucking axe. I did it for me. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And on that day, I learned that I have to look out for myself. I can't rely on anybody else to do shit for me. I can't rely on other people to ensure my success. I have to be the master of my own destiny, and I have to go and do things for myself. It was a very important lesson that I learned. It was not a bad thing at all. We were obviously fucking around, having fun. Everything was good. We were enjoying ourselves a lot. I had myself with a Thunder Fury, and I found a mage that also had a Thunder Fury. I thought that was pretty cool. Bought my Wrathful Gladiator's helmet. And then the pre-expansion event began to happen for Cataclysm. We had the Nomergon event as well. I did the Operation Nomergon. This is, as I said, this is Asmongold humor from 2010. Yeah, I was a real funny guy, man. I was a real fucking funny guy. And so, listen. Dude, I made 3,000 gold. I'm on an event. That's me and, what do you call it? Me and Rob as well. Rob joined a new guild as well. So he came over with us. I forgot to even tell you guys. But yes, he did also come over with us as well. And also, this guy right here, Avernus. Avernus was a Russian. And he spoke mostly Russian. Does anybody remember Reinhardt the Death Knight? I'm curious if anybody remembers Reinhardt the Death Knight. No. Very long time ago, Reinhardt was a Death Knight, and he had a friend, Avernus, and they would co-lead ICC 25-man raids together. And I joined their raids every single week. Reinhardt made YouTube videos as well. I didn't really know this until way later. He started making them in Cataclysm. This is before any of us made videos or anything like that. And him and Avernus would get in these arguments, and they would start yelling at each other. And they would get louder, and it would get louder, and it would get louder in the arguments, and then it would turn into Russian. And at that point, you knew, okay, fuck, now things are getting serious. And they would be yelling at each other, getting pissed off, just being angry boys. Like, that's really all it comes down to, just being general angry boys. And it was actually really kind of fucking funny, but after a while it did get annoying because of how, how much this would go on. Pissed off, pissed on, it was a mess. Yeah, exactly. And anyway, Reinhardt would have Avernus explain all of the fights, but Avernus could barely speak English. So nobody knew how to do any of the fights. And then Avernus would yell at people in Russian when nobody else spoke Russian. It was funny just to be in the raid. Like, I would show up just for the antics. It was great, man. It was fucking amazing. And anyway, let me go on to the next one. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, another fucking idiot. Yeah, I've got plenty of pictures of idiots here. This guy with level 59 trinket at level 80 at the end of Wrath. And then there's me right there towards the end of Wrath of the Lich King with Shadow's Edge and Brentroll, which is heroic, by the way. It's heroic Brentroll, by the way. Just for anybody that doesn't know, it's heroic Brentroll. So Cora didn't know. She didn't know what was going to happen with the mounts. She didn't know what was going to happen with the ZG mounts. She wasn't paying attention. She says, they're getting removed in a week. I said, so you have 4 chances. I said, oh my god, Asmon, you have to run it with me next week so I don't have to share with Exona. So she wanted me to run her through ZG and play with her in ZG to help her get the ZG mounts before they got removed from the game. And I told her, I said, you should have been on top of this shit. And I said, no mounts for Cora. But, I mean, look. It is what it is. And I went in there and I did it with her anyway. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, I did do it with her anyway. And, yeah. To be honest though, I was right. She didn't get the mounts. She didn't get the mounts. And, yeah. I mean, look. And then also, what's this other shit here? Let me go ahead and double check what this is. Where's the tank? Tank, you need to aggro. Damn. I'm on my prop paladin. Everybody else is dead except me, man. Fuck him. I was probably AFK. I said, dude, man, fuck him, dude. I said, K, they're dead. Yeah, fuck him. Oh my god. And so, yeah, I did ZG with Cora every single day with her on her druid, trying to help her get the ZG mounts. She never got them. It is what it is. But, yeah, there it is. And then this was the fateful day. This was the day. The day the 4.0 pre-patch came out. Wrath of the Lich King was over. Cataclysm had begun. Everybody was testing their abilities on the brand new target dummies. Blizzard quality, by the way. That was me and Vesuvius. Later on, he and I would raid together in Indestructible. He was a friend of mine that I made on the way over to, there. And then there's me right there with my full Brutal Gladiator gear behind anal leakage. I don't know who the fuck that is. But yeah, there's me right there with all my gear. Me and ST Pally with Crimsier as well. All of the boys. There's, I think, Austin in the background. Both of us got our mounts. Cora didn't. We got Champion of Ulduar as well. I did that with a lot of the people that were in Indestructible at the time. And we were playing together and hanging out and spending time with each other. And doing what we needed to do. So, remember Inu? I told you guys, the guy. Inu messaged me. Because he's watching his stream. What's up, dude? Whenever Neo, like, his girlfriend started hitting on him after he died. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Wow. Wow. Shamelessness. Yeah, what the fuck? That's rough. I mean, yeah, it is sad. It is sad, but like, it is what it is. And Dakina said, damn right. Yeah, okay. Okay. So look, yeah, I got some of the boys. What the fuck, dude? So, yep, there's me and Cora. We're just playing together. And we would do different kind of shit together, like just do different dungeons, or we would go and just play the game together, right? It's just as a general thing. And also, this was me right here. And I want you guys to look at the gear that I have right here. Just look at the gear. Now, why would we be wearing Ulduar gear? Why would we be wearing Ulduar gear if ICC was already out? I don't know. We'll have to find out. This screenshot is important, and I want to explain why. Blizzard, I got this sword. I clearly looted it. Give me the sword appearance. Give me this sword appearance. I put in 5 tickets to get this sword appearance, and you won't give it to me. This is literally a screenshot of my character looting the fucking sword. And you know what? I need it. Give me the fucking sword. And then there's me right there on my yak, Cora on my yak, Talib, ST Pally, Teflon. He was the guy that invited me to the guild from back in Burning Crusade. And we were all sitting there waiting to contest the Stranglethorn Arena. You don't have it? No, I don't have it. And that's me, just a picture on my own. Me and Talonor, right before he had to quit the game and get his life back under control. And Regheim as well. Now, I forgot to actually talk about Regheim. Regheim was one of the people that was invited into the old guild on Thrall. I didn't know Regheim. He was never in Overdose. But I played with him, and I considered him a good, motivated player. I considered him a younger version of me. And I personally invited Reg to come over to Kel'Thuzad and join Overdose and be part of it and let me bring him into the group. And I would bring him into my community, like my guild. And he was kind of on the fence about it, but I was like, bro, you have to do this. He transferred over. Reg and I would go on to play together for the next 8 years. Reg denied McConnell a raid spot in Indestructible because he was a better rep paladin. In Morrowids of Draenor. He's a good friend of mine. We got Herald of the Titans. I had worked together with a lot of the people in Indestructible at that time. And I had worked with them to perfect my perfect set of armor to do Herald of the Titans with them. And after attempt after attempt, we finally got the achievement. And I was a little bit, I was a little bit unsure if it was going to happen for a while. But it turned out that I did do it. And almost everybody here... Oh, wait! Oh, Clinge! Look at the guild he's in! He's in Aftermath! Oh, no! He was in I forgot he was in Aftermath! Oh, no! Oh, my God. Yeah, so, yeah, listen. Clinge, that's my boy, dude. He was so good. He was such a good player. And anyway... obviously, the pre-patch was out. Everybody was playing together. I was doing the pre-expansion events. Grown Princess Thaedrus. Right there. This guy messaged me. He said, less time in WoW, more achievements IRL. Now, I want to just go ahead and draw attention to that position that I'm standing in right here. Look at exactly where I'm standing. Then go watch my How to Be an Elitist video. I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. Yeah. That's the flexing. That is the flexing spot. There's me and Reg. So... we went in, and we cleared all the way up to Heroic Lich King. And I tried to make a raid. And I tried to get Talib to do the raid for me. And Talib said, fuck that shit. I'm not gonna do that, you stupid F word. Talib did not come to the raid. I had to do it on my own. And this was the first raid that I really had to do for a long time, and I had to make my own team and my own group of people to go up against Heroic Lich King before Cataclysm came out. And I had a pretty good group of people. I brought Escape. This is a good, he was a very good Bear Druid. I brought Reg. I brought Korra, man. I said, like, it was a stretch. Dude, people were like, man, if Asmon's gonna bring that girl, man, I don't know, dude. Like, this is, bro, man, like, Asmon bringing Korra to the raid, like, I don't know, like, doesn't she suck? And I'm like, nah, guys, it's gonna be alright. They're like, okay, fine. I brought Teflon, the guy who originally invited me to the guild. I brought him to the raid. I brought Senna. I brought Winry, the druid that beat me in 2v2 arena at the end of Burning Crusade. And I brought Estivator, who still to this day plays the game and is still a friend of mine and has still come to my transmog competition semi-recently and comes to my raids. He and I, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, we killed the Lich King on Heroic. We beat his fucking ass. We beat his fucking dick off. I had to raid lead it. I had to do what I had to do. And we fucking did it, man. There's a screenshot right there of all the boys. Me, Reg, Estivator. Estivator took Talib's spot. And I had wanted to bring him. But he wouldn't come back. And Estivator came in. He pulled up. And he didn't pull out. He went in. And we defeated the boss, and we got Bane of the Fallen King. It was a very great time. I ended Wrath of the Lich King, defeating Heroic Lich King with my old guild that I thought fallen apart. And we were sitting there. We were making our other alt characters, getting them ready for Cataclysm. I had barbecue beard. Somebody else had your mom's beard. I got my green proto drake. I was happy about that as well. And I was sitting there on my Swift Alliance steed that I bought from Crimser for 28,000 gold. I don't know why I don't have the screenshot of that. And on the final moment, the day before Cataclysm, there I am. Right there. Ready for the release. Boys. I began Wrath of the Lich King as just a little nub. A little piece of shit nub that got his first shot into raiding and turned out to do okay. I then went in and I succeeded and I got immortal. With the guild, reclaiming our glory, with me not on the sidelines but on the front lines. We went into Ulduar, and my computer wasn't good enough. I lost motivation to raid. I quit, and my guild fell apart. The group of friends that I had played with every single day, that I considered some of my best friends in the game, dispersed and fell apart. I made my own guild. It didn't go very well. I ninja'd half of my guild bank with my friend. We transferred servers together, and we went on to greener pastures. And they were great. But it was an empty feeling of success. And we came back after a message was sent that there was even the chance, the opportunity, that I could ever experience what I had experienced again with my friends. I immediately transferred over to that server, Kel'Thuzad. We reformed our guild. We came together. We killed Heroic Lich King. And we got ready for Cataclysm. In the way that it should have been. That is the story of Wrath of the Lich King. I was looking towards Cataclysm with all the boys, all my friends, my mom, Cora, Austin, Jeff, everybody playing on Kel'Thuzad. We had relocated, and we were ready to go. The Battle Master. Man, see, he fucking remembers. He fucking remembers, man. See, look at that. I told you, man. Like, I was so... yeah, because the fucking title. Dude, I was so pissed off he got that, man. I was fucking furious. Yeah, he remembers that. Cora Lord, chill, dude. Chill. Listen, if I can get her to come on stream again, I will do it. I'm not sure if she'll do it or not, though. It really kind of depends. This is basically... McConnell will be in the... McConnell is in the Mists of Pandaria story. That's where McConnell and I met. And, yeah, that was in Mists of Pandaria. And Wrath Part 2, this was the entire thing, man. Yeah, I mean, the thing is with me, is like one thing that I'm very lucky about is that, like, I have my memory. And I can remember everything that happened. And, like, all the little things that happened that, like, weren't screenshotted. Like, that's why I tell the story, is because I'm the only one that can. Like, nobody else remembers it the way that I do. And I do. And that's why it was so important for me to tell the story. If you screenshot every moment like this, nice work. Yeah, because I knew that it would, like, I did the same thing with videos, right? And the reason why I did it is because I never wanted to forget the experience that I had. And I knew that, like, if I didn't have these screenshots, I'd still remember it. But, like, it's not real to anybody until you can see it. And now you can see it. And I recorded everything, so I would never forget. Because even at time, like, I remember I could remember more things when I was younger because they were, you know, like, more recent. And now I can't remember them as well. And that's why I want to have the screenshots, is so I will never forget. Because it'll always be there. Literally screenshots or it didn't happen. Yeah. There's people that thought, like, yeah, oh, yeah, no, you never beat Wreckful. You never beat Wreckful. I'm like, bitch, there it is. There's the fucking screenshot. What do you mean? Like, it actually happened. Like, you never were fucking 2400. Yeah, I was. There's the fucking screenshot. There it is. Like, listen, I did all this. I kept track of all of it because it happened. People didn't fucking believe it. And there it is. We were farming shit out. We were popping off. It was fucking amazing. I was very happy. Like, we were having a really good fucking time. That's it, man. And honestly, like, I remember I was so happy that I beat Wreckful because Wreckful was like, he was like the top. Like, you didn't get, there were people who was as good as Wreckful, but there's nobody who was better. Like, Wreckful was like the fucking guy, man. He was the fucking guy. So yeah, I was like so happy whenever I beat him. And also, oh, I forgot to tell like another little minor story. My mom got the server first green proto drake. Yeah, she got the server first green proto drake. People like didn't even know what it was. They didn't even know where it came from. Yeah, she got the. So until next time, boys.